This time I'm gonna kick that football clear to the moon!
The Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live. We're covering the NHL all the way through the Stanley Cup playoffs. Subscribe and like us today. Your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast.
6th round. TJ Hoshimazode. Yes, lock it up.
Who?
What? TJ, how's the vanilla? All right. TJ, who's your mama?
You mean TJ Hushmanzada from the Bengals?
Put him on the board. Hoshimazole. Got it. Championship.
Make sure to join the Armchair Quarterbacks right here. We'll answer all your questions, pickups, trades, you name it. You want to win your league? Then listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
It's fantasy football time.
Get your Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert, a 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over, under, money line, you name it. And we dive into the world of fantasy football year-long and your DFS payouts. The only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy, and your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long. Wake up, y'all. It's time to get up with the Armchair Quarterbacks. The world of sports is changing every morning. So wake up, y'all, with the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show.
Get up out of bed.
I should have gone to law school or high school.
Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We've got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Ariola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live, or catch the instant replay.
It all starts with just one thing. When recycling, rinse out jars and cans, and avoid recycling wax paper or paper soiled with food. This will reduce recycling contamination.
You're listening to CBS Sports Radio. We are all sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Strong opinions and your phone calls. Expect it here. CBS Sports Radio.
The Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live. SEC, ACC, and Big Ten coverage like no other. Subscribe and like us today. Your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast.
Hey, Jacksonville, winter is the perfect time to start planning for your healthy, pest-free spring lawn with True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. True Green's science-based approach and local expertise will help give your lawn the year-round care it needs to be thick and weed-free. Go to truegreen.com/radio to save 50% on your first service. Just call 866-946-5956 or go to truegreen.com/radio today and get a lawn to be proud of.
Get your Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert, a 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over, under, money line, you name it. And we dive into the world of fantasy football year-long and your DFS payouts. Your only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy, and your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long.
At Jewelers Mutual, we're a little obsessed with jewelry. Obsessed like auctioneers with talking fast.
50, we're going to fit
Pop stars with auto-tune. And dentists with asking questions.
So how did he propose?
After they've put their hands in your mouth.
Great.
Yes, we've made jewelry our obsession for over 100 years. We love it so much, we named our kids Ruby, Amber, and Opal.
Venti soy latte for Opal?
At Jewelers Mutual, we insure jewelry and only jewelry, which is why people who are also obsessed with jewelry trust us with theirs.
Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We've got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Ariola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live. Or catch the instant replay.
Take the road less traveled in the newly redesigned Hyundai Santa Fe. With available H-Track all-wheel drive to help you get off the beaten path a little further together. And intuitive safety features that can help you see what's waiting around the bend. Plus, with generous room for 5 and comfortable available Napa leather seating, you can go for more drives as a family without driving each other crazy. Find new adventures together in the Hyundai Santa Fe.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Get caught up with the big stories from around the world in sports in just a few minutes. Take me out to the ball game today, weekdays. Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube. Baseball, football, basketball, whatever's trending in the world of sports, it's on Take Me Out to the Ball Game today in just a few minutes. It drops weekdays, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, as Wake Up Y'all is ending. Take Me Out to the Ball Game today on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. Take me out to the ball game. The Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live, covering the AFC South and NFC South along with the rest of the NFL. Subscribe and like us today. Your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast.
CBS Sports Radio, your home for all things sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, coast to coast. Great sports talk expected here. CBS Sports Radio.
Get your Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers. Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert. A 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over, under, money line, you name it. We dive into the world of fantasy football year-long in your DFS payouts. Your only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy, and your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Eli and I talked about how we change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's.
Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Get your Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert, a 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over, under, money line, you name it. We dive into the world of fantasy football year-long in your DFS payouts. The only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy, in your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long. Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Ariola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live. Or catch the instant replay.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Enjoy sunblent days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge, so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you are ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style in socially distanced dining rooms or al fresco on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
You're talking about a bunch of unproven kids who were in the prom. You know, literally, they were in the prom like 6 months ago at their high school.
No, they weren't because they were
locked down.
Exactly.
Okay, they were at a
These are promless teenagers.
If he's from a Big Ten state,
they were at a.
If he's from a Big Ten state, he didn't have prom. I can guarantee you that.
They were at a virtual prom. Anyway, so yeah, it's tough for Wisconsin.
That's called porn. That's called porn.
Stop it. They get a break this week because I got a mess to clean up, guys. Yeah.
Virtual.
There's
prom.
my walk off for the day. Thanks, Mac. I gotta grab my keyboard out now.
Armchair.
Remember, if for any reason you must leave your radio, please have the man at the door stamp your ear so you can listen again later.
Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Ariola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live. Or catch the instant replay.
Screen pass to Trayshawn DeAndre on the right side. He dodges Crushman, makes his way to the end zone. Touchdown! But wait a second. I think there's a flag on the play.
All right, you guys got holding on number 97, right?
Yeah, definitely holding. No touchdown.
All right, make the call.
Yeah, I mean, it was holding.
So make the call.
Or, we say the flag was for an excessive celebration so they can keep the touchdown and apply the penalty to the kickoff, huh? What do you say?
What are you talking about? I didn't see excessive celebration.
You sure? Could have sworn I saw a little nay-nay going on.
What's going on with you, man?
All right, look, guys, I got to be real with you. Trayshawn DeAndre just scored that touchdown. Okay, I have him on my fantasy team this week. I need these points.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you, Bill. I'm playing against my father-in-law this week, and if he doesn't score this touchdown, I lose.
Well, I'm not going to let you make a bad call because you're in some fantasy football league.
Make the call.
Craig, no. If you make one bad call...
This works out perfectly, Bill. I started the quarterback who threw the touchdown pass. We're going to have to ignore the holding call.
I have the kicker, and I was kind of hoping that he wouldn't convert on third down, so he'd have to kick the field goal.
Armchair.
Get your Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert, a 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over, under, money line, you name it. And we dive into the world of fantasy football year long and your DFS payouts. Your only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy, and your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long. The Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live, covering the AFC South and NFC South along with the rest of the NFL. Subscribe and like us today. Your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Come at the K, you best not miss.
I might audible. How audible I'll use.
Omaha! Omaha! Red Polly! Red Polly!
Blue Poncho! Blue Poncho!
Dilly! Rambo! Rambo! Give me Kershaw here, Kershaw!
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Chop, Japan! Richmond, New York! Richmond, Florida! Sally, Buffalo! Check! Hey, Short Ox! Luda Raiders! Omaha!
And then a lot of states ended up having gay marriage and common law marriage, which I think is very confusing because what happens if you just end up with like two loser dudes sharing the same crappy apartment for a couple years? It's been known to happen. Both working part-time at the pizza place, hanging out every weekend. A few years goes by, boom, they're married. See them at a party, they're newlyweds. I didn't know Tony and Jim were gay. They're married now? When did they fall in love? They didn't. They just never got full-time jobs.
Take me out to the ball game.
Get caught up with the big stories from around the world in sports in just a few minutes. It's Take Me Out to the Ball Game today, weekdays. Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube. Baseball, football, basketball, whatever's trending in the world of sports, it's on Take Me Out to the Ball Game today in just a few minutes. It drops weekdays. Take Me Out to the Ball Game today on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel.
Take me out to the ball game.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by The Best Things in Life, which are still free with minimum purchase at participating dealers.
Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We've got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Ariola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live, or catch the instant replay. Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert, a 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over, under, money line, you name it. We dive into the world of fantasy football year-long in your DFS payouts. Your only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy in your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge, so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style in socially distanced dining rooms or al fresco on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Areola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live, or catch the instant replay.
Dread running to the post office? Stamps.com brings post office and UPS services right to your computer. Send letters, ship packages, and get up to 40% off USPS and up to 62% off UPS rates. Nearly 1 million small businesses use Stamps.com to save time and money. It's a no-brainer. So skip the post office and visit Stamps.com. Use promo code LISTEN for a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. That's Stamps.com, promo code LISTEN.
The snapper is Robert Shiver, a sophomore out of Thomasville, Georgia. The holder is Matthew Motley, a senior from Opelika. And Wes Byram, a freshman out of Fort Lauderdale, trying to put it through to give Auburn the win. Here's the snap, the place, the kick is up, the kick is long enough, the kick is good! Good! See you later, alligator! Tigers win, 20-17! I hope Lee Corso and Kirk Street never pick Auburn to have a chance again. The Tigers have come to the swamp, drained it, and made it their own. 20-17. Auburn a winner tonight over the third-ranked Florida Gators. Can you believe it?
Hi, this is Britney Spears.
What up, this Jay-Z.
This is Jennifer Lopez. Armchair.
Get your Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert, a 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over, under, money line, you name it. We dive into the world of fantasy football year-long in your DFS payouts. Your only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy in your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long. Armchair Quarterback Radio, the gunslingers of sports talk.
Here's second-year quarterback Brett Favre out of Southern Mississippi by way of the Atlanta Falcons. They are hopeful he can succeed in the NFL. Here, Brett Favre, your challenge, try this one. So with their best receiver out of the game, from the 35, 19 seconds left. Touchdown! Is there a spark of life in Green Bay? Touchdown! Yes! Danny
Here's Marino, wide open field, throws for a touchdown, and there's number 37 on the season, breaks the all-time NFL record. Going deep and open. Touchdown, Mark Duper. Duper has returned, and he is super.
They are going to bring pressure again. Rodgers is going to roll away, throws it up in the air, says a prayer. Janice, does he stop it? Oh, please.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. The Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics, from World War II to choosing the perfect wine. You can even take a course on the U.S. government or dealing with stress and anxiety. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. Plus, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere with the Great Courses Plus app. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio to get started. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio.
Dread running to the post office? Stamps.com brings post office and UPS services right to your computer. Send letters, ship packages, and get up to 40% off USPS and up to 62% off UPS rates. Nearly 1 million small businesses use Stamps.com to save time and money. It's a no-brainer. So skip the post office and visit Stamps.com. Use promo code LISTEN for a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. That's Stamps.com, promo code LISTEN.
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry.
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America. You get in a ballpark, and it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
Baerga is 0 for 3. Left center field. Grissom on the run. The team of the 90s holds its world championship.
You're in Braves country.
Good evening and welcome to Atlanta Braves Baseball. You're listening live to the Atlanta Braves as we're coming to you from Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. That sets the scene and the stage is the National League Championship Series. The Los Angeles Dodgers, they come a-calling once again in the NLCS. Game 1 in the best of 7. For the right to head to the World Series. So grab you a cold one, pull up an armchair. It's Braves Dodgers live here on YouTube. Hello, folks. I'm Mac McGee and set to bring you game 1 of this NLCS. Max Fried is heading to the hill for the Atlanta Braves to try to steal a game for underdog Atlanta. And the Dodgers will go to a bullpen game to start this series. They are sending Corey Knebel to the hill. He pitched 1 inning to start off in game 5 of the NLDS, deciding game 5 versus the Giants. So the expectation is that he will come out for 1 inning, maybe 2, and then the Dodgers will go from there. Nabel is a right-hander with a 2.45 ERA and a 9.97 whip. But once again, he is a bullpen guy, not expected to go more than an inning or so. Max Fried, well, he's a different story. He's 14-7 on the year, has a 3.04 ERA, a 1.09 whip, 8.6 strikeouts per 9, and 2.2 walks per 9 innings. He has 2 shutouts on the year, a 2.27 batting average against, has given up 15 home runs, and an opposing slug of 332. But the big number that everybody's looking at with Max Fried is that a 1.74 ERA for Mr. Fried in the second half of the season since the All-Star break. And with that being said, the Braves are set to take on these LA Dodgers, and this is what the lineup will be. When the Braves do come to bat in the bottom of the first, it'll be Rosario leading off and batting left. Freddie Freeman is batting second once again, and he is playing first base. Ozzie Albies, the second baseman, he's a switch hitting 259 hitter with 30 home runs, 106 RBIs, and hitting fourth in the cleanup spot is Mr. Austin Riley. Behind him will be Jock Peterson, hitting 238, 18 home runs, and 61 RBI on the year. Adam Duvall is playing center and batting sixth from the right-hand side of the plate, along with Travis d'Arnaud, who's the hind catcher and hitting 220 at the number 7 spot. Dansby Swanson, hitting 248, will be batting eighth. He's playing shortstop tonight with 27 home runs and 88 RBIs. And Max Fried will bat ninth for the Atlanta Braves. When the Dodgers come to bat to lead off the game, it'll be Mookie Betts out in right field. 264 average and 23 home runs, 58 RBIs. Bit of a down season for the $300 million man, but we know big things can be expected from Mookie. Trey Turner, acquired in the trade from the Nationals, he's batting second, playing second, and batting 328 on the year. Corey Seager from the left-hand side of the plate and playing shortstop, 306 average with a 915 OPS. And Justin Turner, batting cleanup and playing third base, 27 home runs, 87 RBIs, and an 832 OPS. Will Smith is the hind catcher and batting fifth, 25 home runs and 76 RBI. And Albert Pujols, the right-handed bat, is in the lineup to face Max Fried, the future Hall of Famer, 236 batting average, 17 RBIs and 17 home runs and 50 RBIs in a 717 OPS. And AJ Pollock, 297 from the right-hand side of the plate, 21 home runs, 69 RBIs. And Taylor is playing center field for the Dodgers, batting 254 with 20 home runs. And once again, Nebel is set to bat ninth, but we don't expect to see him make it to that spot. We'll keep you abreast on all what's going on in the world of college football, as we all know that there's a bunch of games that took place today and a bunch of games that are in action. So have no fear. We will keep you up to date with that. And of course, what's going on in the American League Championship Series, which that is starting to come to an end. They're in the ninth inning. The Red Sox are all over the Astros 9-3, looking to tie that series up at 1 apiece. Red Sox hit 2 grand slams in this game, in the first inning and in the second inning, back to back. So there you have that. And we are set for Braves baseball here in just a couple of moments as Max Fried is finishing up his warm-up pitches and Mookie Betts is coming to the plate. Welcome, folks, and thank you for joining us here on Braves baseball as the Atlanta Braves get set for what should be one heck of a 7-game series here in Atlanta. The Braves are the home team. They do have the home field advantage. And that, of course, is because the Atlanta Braves won the National League East. The Dodgers, who have well over 100 wins, many more than Atlanta, well, they are a wild card team, so that's why they did not get the right to host. There's been a hubbub about that, but to be honest with you, if you don't win your division, I believe they've done it right. We're getting set for the game. Should be a good one, so get comfortable. It'll probably be a long one, as these games have been averaging well over 3 hours in all of the playoff games. And with the Dodgers doing a bullpen game, I can only expect that we're going to have a lot of pitching changes, and hopefully Max Fried will go deep into the ball game. Atlanta's getting set to throw the first pitch out. Ronald Acuna Jr., by the way, he is in uniform and got a standing ovation from the crowd as he came out onto the field pregame. And here's the first pitch from Max Fried. It's a fastball fired across the heart of the plate for a strike, and we start the NLCS with strike one. The ball is taken out of play ceremoniously, as that will probably be headed to the Hall of Fame, as most of these are. And the 0-1 pitch is a curveball popped high and deep into right field, but Jocktober's underneath it on the warning track, and there's one away. That curveball hung a little bit, not where Max Fried necessarily wants it. But with that being said, there is one away. And we're unscathed going to the second batter in the order is Trey Turner with his .328 average. An embarrassment of riches for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Here's a fastball high and inside, 94 miles an hour, and it is taken for a ball. It's 1-0. Atlanta nothing, Los Angeles nothing. If you're just joining us, the Braves are in a shift on the left-hand side of the infield, and fastball ripped over to Swanson. Swanson corrals it, grabs it, fires it over to first, and there's two away here in the top of the first inning. Atlanta desperately would love to see a 1-2-3 inning and get their bats going. Remember, once again, Jorge Soler will not be on the playoff roster at this point. Now, the caveat is when he is ready, assuming he becomes ready and gets off the COVID list, he can come onto the roster. Here's the first pitch to Seager. It's a fastball swung on and missed outside. It's 0-1. He can join the roster taking Pache's place, who took his place because of COVID. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it is ripped in through the infield, through the diamond, and Seager's on his horse heading to second base, and it is a 2-out double. It was a worm burner that went through the infield, and the Dodgers are quickly in business with a runner on second base and two away. To finish up that thought, when Soler becomes available and can come off the COVID list, he can come back onto this roster, take Page's place, and there is no penalty. So that is what we're looking at. Also, something different in this National League Championship Series roster, Chris Martin is on this roster. Rich Rodriguez, once again, is not on the roster. Martin is taking the place of Dylan Lee. Here's the first pitch to Justin Turner. It's a fastball wide and outside the zone. It's 1-0. A lot of questions on whether or not the Dodgers may be a little jet lagged, a little tired, playing late Thursday night, getting into Atlanta. There's no rest for the weary. And it looks like at least Corey Seager's doing fine. He stands on second, threatening to score. And here comes the 1-0 pitch from Max Fried, and it is fired in for a strike, 94 miles an hour, and it's 1-1. That ball came right across the belt, and Justin Turner just looked at it. I think he might have been looking for something outside. So that sets up a 1-1 count. Justin Turner digging in. There's a runner on second, 2 away. Max Fried with his 9th offering of the inning, his 9th offering of the game. Here's the windup in the pitch. Strike, fastball at the knees. Once again, same place, same pitch, same result. It's 1-2. Big Red hits .438 with 2 home runs versus Max Fried. That is an alarming statistic. Now, a lot of those at-bats have taken place much earlier in Fried's career, but it's still to be noted. Some guys just see guys better coming out, the ball coming out of the hand. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's a fastball fouled back and off the screen, and we'll do it again at 1-2. Braves nothing, Dodgers nothing. You're listening to National League Championship Series baseball. A best-of-7 series. The winner is heading to the World Series to face either the Astros or the Boston Red Sox, as that series is tied up at 1 apiece. Boston winning today. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Fried, and he rocks and fires. Curveball hit way outside of play and fouled back, and it's 1-2. Atlanta nothing, LA nothing. If you're just joining us, 1-2 pitch is on the way to Justin Turner. So he digs in. Max Fried gets a new ball, and we're set to play. Here's the pitch from Fried, and it is a curveball in the dirt. It's 2-2. Will Smith is on deck. Dodgers put a very heavy right-handed lineup in to face Max Fried tonight. You have Corey Seager as the only left-handed batter that is currently in the Dodger lineup. Conversely, the Braves are pretty split even with righties and lefties. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Justin Turner. I'm sorry, the 2-2 pitch to Justin Turner as Darno sets up inside, and it swung on, and it looks like he went around. Did he? He went around. And we'll head to the bottom of the first inning. The Atlanta Braves and the LA Dodgers tied at 0. We're just getting going here in the NLDS. You're listening to Braves Baseball.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Almost Good Beer. Remember, Ed's Almost Good Beer was brewed in God's country when God wasn't looking.
I might audible. If I audible, I'll use Omaha! Omaha! Red Polly! Red Polly! Blue Poncho! Blue Poncho! Dilly! Rambo! Rambo! Give me Kershaw here, Kershaw!
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Japan! Richmond, New York! Richmond, Florida! Sally, Buffalo! Check! Hey, Short Ox! Luda Raiders! Omaha! I'm out!
Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We've got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Ariola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live, or catch the instant replay.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge, so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style in socially distanced dining rooms or al fresco on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
Challenge accepted.
Welcome back here to Atlanta Braves baseball as the Atlanta Braves and Dodgers are scoreless as we begin the bottom of the first inning. Due up is Eddie Rosario facing Corey Nebel with his 2.45 ERA in the 2021 season. He is sitting with a 0 ERA in the postseason. And he began game 5 for the Atlanta Dodgers as the LA Dodgers, excuse me, as the Dodgers won game 5 against the Giants in heart-stopping fashion. If you missed that game, came all the way down to the bottom of the 9th inning where the Giants were called out for a check swing strike that was definitely controversial, but may not have made a difference in the series. Nonetheless, it's Dodgers Braves. And because of that result, we begin the series in LA. Had San Fran won, we would be in San Francisco tonight. So here we go. To start off, the Braves, LCS, and the first pitch is a knuckle curve, hit foul, and pulled to the right-hand side. It's 0-1. Really quick on the college football scoreboard, Michigan State took out Indiana earlier this afternoon, 20-15, and Nebraska lost to Minnesota 30-23. We'll keep you up to date all night long. 0-1 pitch is a fastball wide and outside the zone. It's 1-1. Boston College and number 22 NC State are tied in the second quarter. Eddie Rosario digs in for the 1-1 pitch, and it is a curveball ripped down the right field line, and Mookie Betts is going to grab it, corral it, throw it back into the infield, so he'll hold Rosario to a single. But we've got one on, nobody out to start off the bottom of the first inning, and Freddie Freeman, the Game 4 hero, stepping to the plate. For folks that might have missed that game for whatever reason, Freddie Freeman essentially sent the Atlanta Braves to the second round with a solo shot that brought rain in the bottom of the 8th in a tie ball game against the very difficult Josh Hader. Here comes the first pitch to Freddie Freeman, and there's a fastball 96 miles an hour, swung on and miss, and it's 0-1. Freddie Freeman 4 for 13 in the postseason, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. He digs in. There's 31 home runs on the season and 300 batting average. Nabel fires back over to first to keep Rosario close. We'll do it again at 0-1. Ozzie Albies is on deck with Austin Riley in the hole. And here comes the 0-1 pitch. As Nabel is taking his time for the delivery, he rocks and fires knuckle curve inside, and it's 1-1. Atlanta nothing. Los Angeles nothing. We're just getting started in the NLCS. Of course, this is a rematch of last year that went 7 games. Atlanta took a 3-1 lead in the series, remember, before falling to the Dodgers on LA's route to their first World Series championship since 1988. Here's the 1-1 pitch, a knuckle curve swung on and missed by Freddie, and it's 1-2. In the Southeastern Conference, the Tennessee Volunteers lead Ole Miss 8-7 in the second quarter. And here's the 1-2 pitch from Freddie as he sits back. Smith sits up on the outside part of the plate, rocks and fires, and it is 97 mile an hour, fouled off. We'll do it again at 1-2. Atlanta trying to get something going here, as love to get out to an early lead to force LA's hand. I don't think it would take much for LA to fall behind and then put the back end of their bullpen or the front end, so to speak, saving. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a knuckle curve in the dirt, and it's 2-2, saving some pitchers for tomorrow night. Now, tomorrow night, the starters have been announced. It's going to be Max Scherzer for the Dodgers. And the Braves will not go with Charlie Morton. They are going with Ian Anderson, giving Charlie Morton a couple of extra days to rest, and he should be pitching in game number 3. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Freddie Freeman as Smith sets up high and outside, and it's high and inside, 97 miles an hour, and we got a full count to Freddie Freeman with one on, nobody out, and Ozzie Albies on deck. Ozzie Albies is due to get going. So here comes the payoff pitch. Eddie Rosario leads off first, trying to get a couple of extra steps. Smith set down the center of the plate. Freddie's ready. Here's a knuckle curve, and it is swung on and missed. And Rosario was stealing on the play. It looks like Blue's going to call him safe. We'll see if there's a review. It was a bang play, but he might have gotten underneath the tag. So as for right now, we've got one away on the strikeout by Freeman. He missed the knuckle curve, which was inside to him. Probably would have been called a strike regardless, but it looks like, it looks like Rosario got underneath the tag, and the shortstop Seager did not apply the tag till after he came on. Rosario came off the bag, but before Seager could react to it, Rosario put his foot back onto the bag. So it looks like it was a tie at the actual base, and Rosario got back to the tag. So they're not going to review it, and we'll get it going here with Ozzie Albies to the plate, a runner in scoring position for Atlanta. And here's the first pitch, and it is a shot down the right field line, just foul into the right field seats, and we'll do it again at 0-1. Ozzie just missing the connection on that. Nabel has thrown that knuckle curve inside quite a bit to start this game off. And once again, he's the opener. Good chance he's not going to go more than about an inning, maybe a little more, depending. I'd say it'd have a lot to do with his pitch count. This will be his 12th pitch of the game. The Dodgers are in a shift, a shift to the right-hand side of the infield. So if Rosario does decide to break towards third, it's going to be a foot race to the bag. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Ozzie as he open stances it, and he rips it over to the right-hand side, but it's right over to second baseman Turner. Turner gets it, flips it to Albert Pujols. There's 2 away. Rosario does move from second to third on the play. So a number of things could score him now. Wild pitch, a balk, pass ball, infield single, an error. A lot of ways he could get in here, and that's going to bring Austin Riley to the plate. Paul Bickford, the right-hander, tall, lanky right-hander, he is warming up in the Dodgers bullpen already. This is the same script they used in game number 2. And a wild pitch, just like I said, comes up, and Rosario's going to come home, baby. He scores. And just like that, the Atlanta Braves lead it 1-0. Well, that was a lucky guess, but I'll take it. Corey Nebel throws what looks like it was another one of those knuckle curves, and it got away from Smith. That might have been a pass ball, but I do believe the ball actually hit his. They might call it a pass ball, but it was a very poorly pitched ball. I think he was set up on the inside part of the plate, and the ball was so wide that might have actually been the fastball. The ball was so wide that he had to lunge for it. You know how the catcher's mitt is. It bounces off it, and Rosario scores. The 1-0 pitch is a strike to Riley, and it's 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Austin Riley. Atlanta leads at 1-0, bottom of the first. Game 1 of the NLCS, and swung on and missed 97 miles an hour. And it's 1-2. Great hustle by Rosario. Great base running by Rosario. Putting him to the leadoff hitter has already paid off. As he is there because Jorge Soler is on the COVID-19 list. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it is a knuckle curve. Swung on and missing in the dirt. That's going to end the inning with a strikeout. But not before your Atlanta Braves grab the lead. It's 1-0 Atlanta. We head to the top of the second inning.
Max, a woman in my section wants to know if we do anything gluten-free. What do I tell her? Tell her she's not allergic to gluten. She's just masking an eating disorder.
Get your Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert. A 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over under, money line, you name it. And we dive into the world of fantasy football year long and your DFS payouts. Your only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy, and your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This helpful instructional message from the National Association of People Who Have Trouble Walking and Chewing Gum at the same time. Step, chew, step, chew, step, chew, step, chew.
Welcome back here to Atlanta Braves baseball as we take a look around the scoreboard for you. And in the American League Championship Series, might have misspoke. It just went final. The Red Sox did end up winning 9-5 was your final score. So that is going to tie that series up. They'll take the day off and be back at it Monday night. The Braves are playing tonight and tomorrow night. We're bringing you all the Braves action right here on this channel, so please like and subscribe. But they will play tonight and tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is a little earlier first pitch, so just keep a reminder on that. First pitch will be 7:37 p.m. We'll take Monday off and be back at it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And if need be, we're off Friday, and games 6 and 7, which will be back in Atlanta after going to L.A., will be Saturday and Sunday next week. Here's the first pitch to Will Smith, and it is taken for a strike, and it is 0-1. Will Smith, not that Will Smith, batting .258 on the year, 25 home runs, and he swings at the second pitch, and it is popped up high can of corn to Dansby Swanson in shallow left field. He's underneath it, and the first out of the inning as we're underway in Atlanta. The Braves lead it 1-0 in game one. Big first run for the Braves to get to kind of settle down the nerves of Max Fried. So you got to like that, not only if you're a Braves fan, but if you're just a fan of good baseball, getting a young guy out there to get an early lead really settles them down. Here's the first pitch to Albert Pujols. It's another high curveball. We got to be careful of that, but it's 0-1 as it's called for a strike. We'll keep you updated on what's going on in the world of football. Here's a fastball, and it swung on, banged to the left-hand side of the infield. Riley's got it just past the third base pillow. He fires it over to Freddie. Freddie's got it, and there's two away quickly in the bottom of the second. Max Fried going through the first 2 innings fairly quickly so far. Just 17 pitches on the night. You got to like that if you're a Braves fan. The deeper he can go, the more Atlanta can save that bullpen. Tomorrow is Ian Anderson versus Max Scherzer. So that should be one heck of a matchup. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Fried. It's a hanging curveball, and it is shot into the gap as it'll bounce up against the wall. Jock's on it, and that's a 2-out double once again for the Dodgers. 2 innings in a row that they get 2-out doubles off of hanging curveballs. And Pollock stands on second with 2 away. That'll bring the dangerous Chris Taylor to the plate. Chris Taylor is batting .254 on the season, batting in the 8th spot. But you know the Dodgers have a pinch hitter ready to bring on, so you can't really pitch around him, as Nabel is not likely to go back out for the 2nd inning. And the Braves are set up with a shift on the right-hand side of the plate, right side of the infield. Here's the first pitch, fastball, fouled back, and it's 0-1. Chris Taylor, almost Kike Hernandez-like, where during the regular season you don't give him much of a thought, but during the postseason he seems to step up in the biggest times on the biggest stages for the last several years for the Dodgers. Not a guy you want up there with a runner in scoring position. But here's the 0-1 pitch from Max's Travis. Sets up inside, and it's a fastball right there, and it should have been a strike. They're going to call it a ball. It's 1-1. That was right there on the black inside. Terrible call by Blue. Your home plate umpire tonight is Trip Gibson. He's been in 3 wild card games in 2 division series. Just a missed call right there. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Taylor, which changes this at bat drastically, and it's a fastball outside the zone. It's 2-1. Your first base umpire and the crew chief this series is Jerry Meals. James Hoy is the second base umpire. Mark Carlson, the third base, and Lance Barksdale down the left field line, and Todd Titchener down the right field line. Jordan Baker is the emergency umpire. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it is a fastball inside, and that'll take us to a 3-1 count. The Dodgers do have a pinch hitter, it looks like, getting ready to come up. Can't make out who that is. It's Steven Souza Jr., the right-hander, batting in the 150s. But he is he's a veteran that has been called up to play in this postseason. So you got a 3-1 pitch from Fried, a runner on second. There's 2 away. Braves trying to get out of this mess. And here's the 3-1 pitch, and it is a slider, and it is ripped down the third base line, but foul, and it's 3-2. That slider looked like it was right down the zone. Luckily, Taylor was in front of it. So we'll start this up again. Fried in some second inning trouble, trying to get out of this mess. Remember, Chris Taylor was the one that hit the walk-off home run against the Cardinals in the wild card game this season. So here's a 3-2 pitch. Max Fried shakes off Darno, doesn't like what he's asking. So they reset a little bit, and here they finally came up to a conclusion. Here comes the 3-2 count. 3-2 offering, enters a curveball. It's another hanging curveball shot into left field, and the Dodgers will get on the board with an RBI single from Taylor. It's 1-1. Once again, Max Fried trying to put that curveball pass, just doesn't have the bite that you like for it to have. It's been hanging up. It's been the result of all three of the Dodgers hits so far tonight. And he shook off whatever Darnold asked for prior to, probably the fastball, I would guess. I guess he thought he would sneak one by him. Instead, it's a tie ball game. Dodgers won, Braves won, top of the second inning. Steven Souza Jr. is batting for the pitcher from the right-hand side of the plate, and Chris Taylor steals second base easily with a curveball in the dirt. Fried not paying attention at all. And you got a runner on second now as the Dodgers don't look to be jet lagged at all. A huge jump by Taylor. There wasn't even offering down to second. So here comes the 1-0 pitch, and it is slider inside. It's 2-0. Mookie Betts would be on deck. This rally started with 2 outs. Fried was looking good, and now he's starting to struggle against Steven Souza Jr.'s 152 on the year. He does have a home run and 4 RBIs. Not a guy he should be dancing around with Mookie Betts. 2-0 pitch, and it is a fastball inside. It's 3-0. Danger. Chris Taylor leads off second on the 3-0 pitch. Fried trying to get out of this mess. Here's the delivery, and it is a fastball on the inside part of the plate, called for a strike, and it's 3-1. Dodgers and Braves tied at 1 apiece. If you're just joining us, Braves scored in the bottom of the first, and the Dodgers have just tied it up. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Fried, and it's fastball inside, fouled off of Souza's foot. And once again, it's 3-2 now, and Souza looks like he's heading back to the dugout for a second. Might have broken his bat. Yeah, that's what appears what it is. He's sanding down his bat once again as he's got a new bat. Looks like he might have cracked it. So here we go. Runner on second. 2 away. A 3-2 count to Souza. Fried trying to get out of this mess before it brings Mookie Betts to the plate. Here's the 3-2 delivery from Darnold. To Darnold from Fried. And fastball on the outside part of the plate. Got him. Sit down, Souza. That's a 3rd strike, and that'll end the inning. So the Dodgers tie it up, but the Braves get out of it with just 1 run given up. Your score, Atlanta 1, Los Angeles 1. The Braves grab the bats. We'll be right back.
Make sure when your shift is over, you go home alive.
Look at that. The Hendersons are getting a new fence.
Ah, who cares? They're swingers.
I want a new fence. That's it. We're never having sex again.
Need a home loan fast? At the American Bank of Los Santos, we'll help you get the debt you need to make life easier. We'll show you how to look richer and be poorer. You need to impress people fast, not in 20 years. It's only a risk if you get into money troubles or the economy changes. Call American Bank of Los Santos. Now that the kids have moved out and have drug problems of their own, maybe it's time to install a luxury marble wet bar so you can get drunk in private. American Bank of Los Santos. Why worry about tomorrow if you look inadequate today?
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Lose some weight.
Oh, come on, Quigley. Will you don't give me that?
Look at me, 92. And I still enjoy swimming and golfing, and biking, all sports.
Whoopee.
That too.
Come on, at the role at your age, must be down to a handshake, huh?
Yep, before and after.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Welcome back to Atlanta Braves baseball. The Atlanta Braves and Los Angeles Dodgers are tied at 1 apiece. The Braves scored in the bottom of the first. The Dodgers tied it up in the top of the second, and we're heading to the bottom of the second, and Jocktober is going to be stepping in. It's Jock Peterson, Duvall, and Darno due up facing. It will now be Phil Bickford, who right-handed lanky pitcher, honestly reminds me a lot of Dustin May. His build, his delivery. He's got a 2.81 ERA in 57 games this year, 51 innings. Did not give up a run in the postseason so far. And here comes the first offering to Jock Peterson. And it is a fastball inside, missed for the first ball. It's 1-0. At the half, the Alabama Crimson Tide leads Mississippi State 21-6. And Oklahoma all over TCU 17-7 in the second quarter. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Bickford, and it's wide and outside. It's 2-0 to Jock Peterson. Ole Miss leads Tennessee 10-9. That's in the second quarter. The Georgia Bulldogs took care of Kentucky 30-13. A little bit of controversy towards the end of that game, if you missed it. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Jock Peterson. And it's right down the pipe. Looked like it was a slider, and it's 2-1. The Georgia Bulldogs were leading that game 30-7, and there was about 5 seconds left on the clock, and the Kentucky head coach called a timeout to try to score a late touchdown. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Bickford to Peterson. He pops it up out of play, another slider, and we'll do it again at 2-2. You'll wonder if there will be any backlash on that. Cincinnati pounded Central Florida 56-21. Michigan State stayed unbeaten. They beat Indiana 20-15. And Oklahoma State upset Texas to remain unbeaten 32-24. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. The bottom of the second to Jock Peterson, and it is a slider swung on and missed, and that'll be a strikeout for Bickford. There's one away. Go right back to that same pitch, and Peterson just could not time it right. That'll bring Adam Duvall to the plate. Adam Duvall hitting 228 on the year, 38 home runs and 113 RBIs. Game 1 of the NLCS tied up 1-1, bottom of the second. Here's the delivery to Duvall, and it is, now that gets called for a high strike. We wonder where that was last inning, and 93 miles an hour, and it's 0-1. A little higher, maybe a little more over the plate than the ball that was offered at that led to the scoring in the last inning. Inconsistent so far for Blue. Here's the 1-0-1 pitch, and it's a slider swung on, popped high. That's a major league pop fly to short. Seager's underneath it, and there's quickly 2 away. Bickford only 7 pitches into the game so far. He is going to face Travis Darnode. Auburn upset Arkansas 38-23 in Fayetteville. And the Florida Gators lost at LSU to keep the Wolves off of Coach O's door. LSU wins it 49-42. That will most likely knock Florida out of the top 25, excuse me. Here's the first offering to Darnode, and he fouls it back. It's 0-1. NC State, Boston College, they're tied at 7 apiece in the second. Purdue upset number 2 Iowa 24-7 in Iowa. And Baylor handed BYU yet another loss. They'll be 5-2 now. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Darnode as Smith sets up outside, and it is a slider on the outside part of the plate. It's 0-2. A&M 35-14 over Missouri. That gets you caught up on the top 25, along with last night Oregon and San Diego State both won. Here's the pitch from Bickford. He's going to step off the rubber for a second, regain himself. It's 0-2 count to Darnode as Bickford gets set to fire the 0-2 pitch, and it is a slider in the dirt. It's 1-2. Virginia blanks Duke 48-0. And the Tar Heels 45-42 winners over Miami. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Bickford. He shakes off the sign. He's ready again. 1-2 offering to Darnode. Sets up outside, and it is swung on. Fastball strikes 3. Bickford has a perfect inning. We head to the top of the third. The game is tied 1-1. The Dodgers grab the bats.
You just robbed a house. You have all this great stuff that now belongs to you, but you got this annoying pang of guilt nagging at you. Well, worry no more, because your friends at Cell Block Greeting Cards have the answer for you. Introducing our new line of petty crime thank you cards. Before you smash and grab one of our cards and leave it behind on your next heist. Choose from any of these fine heartfelt cards like
thank you for the plasma TV,
or
thanks for the PlayStation, alcohol, and penny jar,
and
don't use your toothbrush,
or limited time introducing
I'm still in the house,
and many more sentimental petty crime thank you cards. Available at any back alley, shadowy parking lot, or
armchair.
Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We've got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Ariola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live, or catch the instant replay. Welcome back here to Atlanta Braves baseball. The Atlanta Braves and Los Angeles Dodgers are tied up at 1 apiece, and we are heading to the top of the third inning. The Dodgers are going to be sending the top of the order back up to the plate. Mookie Betts, Trey Turner, and Corey Seager. So it'll be righty, lefty versus the left-handed Max Fried, who is 30 pitches in. He was cruising right along till the bottom of that second inning. So we hope to get a fairly quick inning here and keep the score at bay at 1 apiece. Big game number 1. Atlanta really needs to win this. With them having home field advantage, I feel like Atlanta needs to win every single one of the home games. But at the most you can lose is probably 1 at home and win this series against the defending champions. Here's the first pitch, and it is a fastball fouled back by Mookie Betts, and it's 0-1. We'll be in Atlanta tonight and tomorrow night, off day Monday, and then a 3-game swing goes out to Los Angeles. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's a fastball in the same spot where where he gave Bickford the strike last inning, but it's 1-1. Unbelievable strike zone right now by Gibson. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's low and at the shoes. It's 2-1. 1-1 is your score, top of the 3rd inning. Just getting going here in Atlanta in game 1. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it is a slider swung on high and deep into right field, but playable for Jock Peterson. He's got it, and there's 1 away. Probably the most dangerous batter in the Dodgers batting order, at least top 2, with the number 2 guy coming up to the plate now in Trey Turner. But of course, we know the Dodgers have a unbelievable batting order from top to bottom, great bench. It's going to be a difficult series. Here's the first pitch to Turner, and he was trying to time the curveball, missed it, and it's 0-1. It does seem like the Dodger lineup is sitting on Max's curveball. I wonder if there's been any adjustments in the dugout talking about that. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Fried, and it's a fastball outside the zone, swung on a miss, and it's 0-2. All 3 of the Dodger base hits have come on hanging curveballs. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it is a fastball fouled, pulled to the third base side. We'll do it again at 0-2. Braves 1, Dodgers 1. The dangerous Trey Turner digs in on the 0-2 count. And here's the 0-2 pitch, and it is swung on, and it is sliced into right field, dropping in for a single. Jock Peterson has it, gets it back into the infield quickly to keep Trey Turner at first. And there's a 1-out single here in the top of the 3rd. Trey Turner stayed back and just kind of shot it into right field. Which does seem to be the Los Angeles approach against Fried tonight. Here's the first pitch from Fried to Seager, and it's a fastball blown right by him at 94 miles an hour. It's 0-1. It's the best way to combat that, Max. They're sitting on the breaking ball, blow the fastball by him. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Fried. So he gets the call from Darnode. Darnode sets up on the inside part of the plate. Fried sits back and rocks, and he fires it fastball in on the fist, and it's going to be shot towards the left field, but Dansby Swanson's on his horse, runs it down, a weak pop-up, and it's out number 2. Nice defensive play by Dansby. And Trey Turner stays at first base on the play as he had to go halfway, not knowing if that ball was going to drop. He would have had 0 chance of tagging up anyways. So there's 2 away. Top of the 3rd inning. The Dodgers, by the way, have another arm getting loose in the bullpen is Tony Gonsolin. And here's Justin Turner, fastball, shot to right field. Will Jock Peterson get it? He gets on his horse and he's got it. And we're out of the inning. So that'll end it. We head to the bottom of the third inning. Braves 1, Dodgers 1. You're listening to Atlanta Braves baseball. Get your Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert, a 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over, under, money line, you name it. And we dive into the world of fantasy football year-long and your DFS payouts. The only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy, in your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long.
It all starts with just one thing. When recycling, rinse out jars and cans, and avoid recycling wax paper or paper soiled with food. This will reduce recycling contamination. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
Slide here is your ex, but if that's the call, Mike, Will, and Sam all have to know they're shifting. Open palms to post, thumbs ups across her, thumbs downs and out. Trevor, why don't you get up here and draw that for us?
Playing in the NFL is hard, but playing
Armchair
fantasy football is easy.
Fantasy football time. It's fantasy football time.
Welcome back here to Atlanta Braves baseball as we've got a tie ball game, 1-1. Atlanta scored in the bottom of the first inning. Dodgers answered back in the top of the second. And the Braves will grab the bats here in the bottom of the third inning. So we set you up here as it'll be Dansby Swanson, Max Fried, and Rosario due up in the Atlanta third. Atlanta trying to get this game one victory to put some pressure on the Dodgers. The Dodgers have Max Scherzer going tomorrow. So Atlanta would love to get this win, be playing with house money with Ian Anderson going to the hill. Ian Anderson has played and pitched well in the postseason in his career. I expect nothing but that from him tomorrow night. But you know you're going to have a good outing versus Scherzer. Here's the first pitch, and it is a slider from Bickford as he stays in the game, and it's 0-1. Bickford, 12 pitches into the evening. Gonsolin does look like he is ready in the bullpen. Looks like he's just staying warm. I think they're trying to get a few more outs out of Bickford before they pull the trigger. Both are right-handers. Gonsolin more of a guy that can go multiple innings as he has been a starter in his career. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it is a fastball fouled back by Dansby Swanson, and it's 0-2. Tie ball game here in the bottom of the third inning. Looks like it'll be Charlie Morton versus Bueller in game number 3. In game 4, Urias will go to the mound for the Dodgers, and that will probably be a bullpen game for Atlanta. So you'd like to have the series lead at that point. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it's a fastball outside the zone, and it's 1-2. That would then set up Fried, Anderson, and Morton to go 5, 6, 7 if the series goes that far. 6-7 back in Atlanta. Dansby Swanson digs in on a 1-2 delivery from Bickford. So he fires it, and it is a slider swung on and missed. Might have been in the zone, but regardless, it's a swinging strikeout, and it's 1 up, 1 down so far in the bottom of the third. That's going to bring the pitcher spot up in Max Fried. We'll see if they're going to pull Bickford out. So they'll go to Tony Gonsolin, as Max Fried is a decent hitting pitcher, and Bickford has been known to struggle against left-handers. So we're going to take a quick break as the Dodgers are heading to the pen. Tony Gonsolin's coming in to jump on top of the hill. Atlanta 1, Los Angeles 1. They got the chop going in the Truist Park. The lights are out. The phones are out. The lights are flickering back and forth. You're listening to Atlanta Braves baseball. We'll be back in a flash.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
ACC football covered like no other here on the Armchair Quarterback.
Reggie Gillespie dives into the end zone. The winning points from North Carolina State. And the teams come together in the end zone, pushing, shoving between the pack and the heels as Gillespie has scored the winning points, his 5th rushing TD. But these teams need to be separated. The emotion boils over on the last play of the game as Gillespie goes to the end zone. And it's a sea of Carolina blue and state red.
And Carruthers gets into it, and they've doused him, and now we've got a big brawl out on the field. Marring the 200th victory for Bobby Bowden. Look at this. That's an ugly mess down there. This is ugly. Trying to get it cleared up down there, although there's still some bodies flying around.
ACC football, backyard brawls all year long.
Biggest pick of the draft. 5th pick, 6th round. TJ Hoshimazode. Yes, lock it up.
Who?
What? TJ, how's the vanilla? All right. TJ, who's your mama?
Fantasy Rule 17. Know how to pronounce your draft picks.
You mean TJ Hushmanzada from the Bengals?
Put him on the board. Hoshimazole. Got it. Championship.
Fantasy football time. It's fantasy football time.
This is Jim Rome. Join me in the jungle for your phone calls and the biggest names in sports. Stop by weekdays, noon until 3 Eastern, 9 to noon Pacific.
We are back, and it's going to be the lefty, Justin Brule. Bit of a surprise because it looked like it was going to be Gonsolin, but they come to get the lefty, Brule, and I guess it's to face Fried, and then, of course, the left-handed hitting, Rosario and Freddie Freeman. So quickly, we have an 0-2 count on Max Fried as he just foul tipped the 0-1 pitch, and here's the 0-2 pitch, and it is swung on and fouled out of play. We'll do it again at 0-2. So that's my mistake. I just assumed they were coming to get Gonsolin, but it's going to be Brule. Brule, one of the few lefties they have in their bullpen, and here is a slider fouled back out of play down the third base line. We'll do it again at 0-2. 2.89 ERA on the year for Justin Brule and a 107 whip. So a good pitcher, but typically only comes in for the lefties. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it is a slider in the dirt, and it's 1-2. So it looks like the game plan will be to face Freddie and Rosario no matter how long this inning goes. And then most likely they will possibly at that point go to Gonsolin because he is warming up in the pen. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it is a fastball inside, and Fried's getting that count stretched out. It's 2-2. Max Fried trying any way to get on. One away, tie ball game in the bottom of the third inning. And the 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. Looked like a fastball up around the letters. And there's 2 away with Eddie Rosario coming to the plate. If you're just joining us, Rosario got on with a single to start the game, stole second base, went from second to third on a ground ball, pulled to the right side of the infield, and then scored on a wild pitch. Here's the first pitch to Rosario, and it is a slider called strike. It's 0-1. Rosario is batting .357 in this postseason now. He's facing a shift on the right side of the infield. Here's the slider on the outside part of the plate, swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Doesn't look like he's picking up that pitch very well out of Brule's hands. So here we go, the 0-2 pitch. And it is a slider outside. Rosario holds up, and it's 1-2. The Dodgers are carrying more pitchers than the Braves in this series. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Rosario, and it is a slider bounced in the dirt, and it's 2-2. The Dodgers have 13 pitchers on their roster. Braves with just 12. Chris Martin has been added. Dylan Lee is off it. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It swung on and grounded to the right-hand side, and it is corralled by Trey Turner. He flips it over to first. And just like that, 3 up, 3 down, we head to the top of the 4th inning. We got a tie game in Atlanta. It's 1-1, Braves and Dodgers. Armchair Quarterbacks Radio covers the whole SEC the whole season long.
Dobbs heaves it. They're bunched up in the end zone. It's tipped up. It's caught. It is caught. Jawan Jennings.
Just the start of things. First quarter at the Geetha Bowl in Jacksonville as Walker digs to the right. Gets outside. The 35. Look out. He's past midfield and he's got a blocker. Cuts to the inside. Herschel Walker. There he goes again.
Straight up the middle. Touchdown. Delayed reaction, but Tebow got in. Oh, jump pass. How about that? Like 1955. Holy cow. Are you kidding me?
Armchair.
SEC!
Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We've got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Areola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live, or catch the instant replay.
Hey, can I tell you one thing? That's 3 holding penalties on one football team in a quarter and a half. That ain't funny.
Welcome back here to Atlanta Braves baseball. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday evening with us. Braves are tied up at 1 apiece. We're heading to the 4th inning. Get you caught up on the college football scoreboard really quick. Games that are in action right now in the Southeastern Conference. You have Ole Miss 24, Tennessee 9 right now in the second quarter. They're expecting a high-scoring shootout Doesn't look like they've quite got the gears going just yet, but still pretty early in that ball game. In the ACC, you have a tie ball, a 10-7 lead. NC State, number 22 in the country, is a 3-point lead on Boston College. Battle of 4-1 teams. So we get this fourth inning underway, and the first pitch for Max Fried is a fired strike, and it's 0-1. Oh-1 delivery from Fried to Will Smith. And it's 0-2. 1-1 is your score. Will Smith 0 for 1 with the fly out. And they're setting up inside again. It's a 0-2 pitch, lays in a tater of a fastball, and Will Smith's going to take it yard. Absolutely crushed that. Why they put one there up 0-2. The Dodgers lead it 2-1. Got to really question that pitch call by Darnode. He had an 0-2 count on Smith. They set up inside. He's a fastball hitter. He's an inside fastball hitter. They pretty much just put one on a plate there for him. Free got a little bit more of the plate than Darnode would have liked, but still. So the Dodgers lead it 2-1, beginning the fourth inning. Here's Albert Pujols, and it's a curveball at the knees. It's 0-1. Absolutely roasted that ball. AJ Pollock is on deck with Chris Taylor in the hole. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's banged on the ground by Pujols. Again, the ball gets past Riley, but there is Swanson. Swanson grabs it, fires it over to first, and we quickly have one away. Looked like there's a bit of a communications error there in the infield, but it didn't cost Atlanta. That was a blind luck, too, because the ball bounced high. It looked like Riley was going to get it. He halfway offered at it. At the time when he was offering at it, Swanson kind of closed his eyes and put his glove up, and the ball just popped into his glove, luckily, and he was able to throw out the slow-footed Pujols. There are some blunders here early. Don't know if it's nerves or what. And the first pitch to Pollock is a fastball fouled back, and it's 0-1. I mean, that was unbelievable, as they've shown the replay a couple of times, of, first of all, that Riley would kind of no other word for it, half-ass it. And then for Swanson to be fortunate enough for the ball to land in his glove as he's putting his head down and closing his eyes. And we get an 0-2 count here to AJ Pollock. He's 1 for 1 with a double and a run scored. It's a called second strike. And the 0-2 pitch from Fried. And they go inside against a slider this time. He gets him swinging. Strikeout number 3 for Fried. And there's 2 away, bringing Chris Taylor to the plate. If Taylor is able to reach Brule, the pitcher spot would be up next. Dodgers already with 5 base hits, the Braves with just 1. Braves trail 2-1. Top of the fourth inning, Chris Taylor digs in, and the first pitch from Fried is swung on and missed, and it's 0-1. I think it was a slider, it was a little high in the zone. Luckily, swung on and missed. And the 0-1 pitch to Taylor, and it swung on, half swing. He did go around, according to first base umpire, and we got 0-2. First base umpire Jarrett Meals, the crew chief, rung him up on a check swing, Here's the 0-2 pitch from Taylor to Taylor from Freed. And Freed rocks and fires, swung on and missed. Slider dropped out of the zone, and that's strike number 3. The Braves trail 2-1. We'll send Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, and Austin Riley to the plate. Let's get some run, boys. You're listening to Braves Country.
God would never let me be successful. He'll kill me first. He'll never let me be happy.
I thought you didn't believe in God.
I do for the bad things.
Armchair Quarterback Radio, your home for the SEC.
Back third down on the 8. In trouble. Got a block behind him. Gonna throw and a run complete to the 25, to the 30. Lindsey's got 35, 41. Lindsey, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Lindsey stop. Lindsey stop. Lindsey stop.
Second down from the 3. Comes the blitz. Quick flip. Caught. Did he hold it long enough? The official says yes. Oh boy, is that going to be controversial. Gaffney, the freshman. My goodness.
If he had it, he didn't have it very long, that's for sure.
And this one's in the history books. And inexplicably, the Florida Gators go 91 yards to come from behind and edge the Tennessee Volunteers in an ending that will be talked about for years. SEC! SEC!
Armchair.
1-1 pitch. A long drive to right. Ramirez turns to the track. She's gone. Day of justice. All is forgiven in Atlanta.
Bob, it's okay to talk the talk if you can walk the walk.
Every morning, the Armchair Quarterbacks will be headed to Braves Country. Along with the big headlines of the day, the Armchair Quarterbacks will be leading off with the Atlanta Braves. That's Braves Country, weekdays on the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Baerga is 0 for 3. Left center field. Grissom on the run. The team of the 90s holds its world championship.
Welcome back to Atlanta Braves baseball. The Braves trail the Dodgers 2-1. The top of the 4th inning. We've got Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, and Austin Riley coming to the plate. I think there's a little bit of nerves on the Braves side as we're getting this series going. It looks like that they will probably bring Brule back out to face Freddie, and then your guess is as good as mine. I would think they're probably going to bring in a right-hander. We'll see how this goes. Freddie Freeman digs into the plate, and Atlanta trying to get something going here. He faces a shift on the infield. Here comes the first pitch, and it's swung on and hit foul down the first base line over towards the camera well, and it's 0-1. Freddie Freeman 0 for 1 with the strikeout, but is hitting 286 in the series with a home run and an RBI, a big home run to send Atlanta into this National League Championship Series. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it is a fastball inside, fouled back, and it's 0-2. Brule, a left-handed specialist against lefties. You do wonder if Roberts would leave him in with a 1-run lead to face Ozzie from the other side of the plate. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Freddie, and it swung on and missed. He didn't even come close to that. It looked like an 82-mile-an-hour slider, and Brule's got it working, and Roberts looks like he's heading back out to the mound, and Gonsolin, once again, looks like he's ready. We'll see if they'll actually go to him, as Freddie didn't look like he picked up that pitch at all from Justin, and they will make a pitching change. So it looks like it's Gonsolin as he is coming in. The bullpen doors swing open. We'll take a break as the Atlanta Braves try to get something going against the new pitcher for the Dodgers.
You better get that checked out.
Better get that checked out?
I would.
What kind of a therapist are you? I'm telling you, I'm scared that something terrible is going to happen to me right away. You start looking for tumors?
I'm trying to help you.
I bet you're rooting for a tumor.
I think you better go.
No, I'm going, baby. I'm going.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. The Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics, from World War II to choosing the perfect wine. You can even take a course on the U.S. government or dealing with stress and anxiety. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. Plus, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere with the Great Courses Plus app. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio to get started. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio.
I'm up. Biggest pick of the draft. 5th pick, 6th round. TJ Host from Azode. Yes, lock it up.
Who? What?
TJ, how's vanilla? All right. TJ, who's your mama?
Fantasy Rule 17. Know how to pronounce your draft picks.
You mean TJ Hushmanzada from the Bengals?
Put him on the board. House Mazzoli. Got it. Championship.
Fantasy football time.
Welcome back to the Atlanta Braves versus Los Angeles Dodgers. The pitching change has been made. Tony Gonsolin is throwing his last couple of warm-ups. He's walking around the mound, so we get set here. So it'll be Gonsolin versus Ozzie Albies. And Ozzie Albies looking for his first hit of the night. He's flipped back over to the right-hand part of the plate. Gonsolin looks like he's got a weird thing going on with his. He's like huge cat lover. He's got something on his shoes, almost like it's like cat fur. Here's the first pitch, and it's missed in the dirt, and it's 1-0. My question to this would be: is that not a foreign object? Are you allowed to have that? Because if a batter has a problem with that, I would think he could complain. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Ozzie, and it swung on and missed, and it's 1-1. It's got pictures of cats on his heels. That's not the issue. The issue is there's huge chunks of fur coming out of his shoes, but I guess no one has complained about it yet. And the 1-1 pitch is fouled back. We'll do it again at 1-2. Ozzie 0 for 1 on the night, trying to get anything going he can as we get set here in game number 1, and the 1-2 pitch, and it is a foul back, look like a slider, and it will do it again at 1-2. Austin Riley is on deck. Braves having to face so many different pitchers. That's the drawback. The advantage would be, here's the 1-2 pitch, fastball outside and taken for a ball. It's 2-2. All it takes is one guy to come out there and not have it and unravel. You're asking a lot out of several guys out of a bullpen in one game. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Ozzie, and it swung on and popped high and harmless into right field, and it'll be easily played by Mookie Betts for out number 2. Looks like Ozzie swung at ball 3 there. The ball was up around his eyes, just couldn't lay off it. Couldn't get any power on it. And that'll bring Austin Riley to the plate. I'm sure if he could have that back, he just would have let that thing go. That ball was up around his shoulders. Here's the first pitch to Austin Riley, and it is a slider. Swung on and missed outside the zone, and it's 0-1. Braves trail by a run here in Atlanta. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it is slider. This time it's a little farther outside, and Austin stays off of it. It's 0-1. Riley struck out first time up. Didn't really have much of a chance in that at bat. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's a fastball, and it is roasted down the left field line. Is it going to stay fair? It does. Home run. We got a tie ball game. That ball looked like it was going to bend foul, but it stayed just right of the left field line foul pole, and Austin Riley ties it up just like that with a 381-foot rope out of left field. Great piece of hitting by Riley. He just stayed back and drilled it. And the Braves start to come alive again in the dugout. It's 2-2. Fastball just left it right over the plate. Very similar to the home run that was hit by Los Angeles. He absolutely just crushed it. My only question was if it was going to stay fair or foul. And it stayed inside the line. And Riley, who's having himself a postseason, is going to set up with 2 outs. Here comes Jock Peterson, and the first pitch is slammed into right field. Jock Peterson is going to get to first after the play was made over at second. It looked like Trey Turner lost his balance, lost his footing. I don't know if he would have been able to throw out Jock Peterson anyways. By the time he spun and got the ball, Peterson was almost on first base, as Peterson does have decent speed. And so Atlanta's got a runner on, 2 away, as we pause for a second for Turner to tie his shoes. I don't know if they came untied or if he's just trying to tighten them up. It'll send Adam Duvall to the plate. And Adam Duvall looking to get something going. He's 0 for 1, and we're set for the pitch, and it is a slider outside the zone, and it's 1-0. Adam Duvall is definitely a bat the Braves need to get going if they're going to go much further in this playoff. Seemed to start to hit in the last game, in game 4 against Milwaukee. Prior to that, had been a really cold hitter, even leading up to the playoffs. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's in the dirt, and it's 2-0. Braves fans have the chop going in Atlanta. Austin Riley just tied the game up. If you're just joining us, it's 2-2. As he absolutely hammered a pitch on a beeline out of the park, tie it up just moments ago, and Jock Peterson reached on an infield single. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Duvall, and it is a fastball popped up high and out of play. It's 2-1. Atlanta, if you grab the series prices before this series began tonight, they were a plus 175 if you took the Braves to win, minus 220 for the Dodgers. So the Dodgers heavy favorites, even though they are not the higher seed. And here comes the 2-1 pitch, and it's fouled off out of play. We'll do it again at 2-2. Of course, the Dodgers defending World Series champions, the Braves, who have battled so many injuries, persevered to get to the NLCS yet again, this time with the fans on their side. They're hoping that'll be the tipping factor. If you're just joining us earlier in the evening, Ronald Acuna Jr. is in uniform, not on the roster, but in uniform. He got a standing ovation from the crowd tonight. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it's swung on, popped high and down the third baseline. Looks like it's going to get out of play, thankfully, and we'll do it again at 2-2. Duvall's 38 home runs on the year. Can he get a hold of one here or put one in the gap to send Jock Peterson home? Got a 2-2 count. 2 on. 2-2 ball game. Deuce is wild. And Jocktober's on first, waiting for someone to send them home. Atlanta trying to grab that early lead. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Here's swung on and is shot back up the middle, but Trey Turner's got it played perfectly, and Duval will be out at first as they fire it over to first, but not before. Austin Riley ties the game, and we've got a 2-2 ball game heading to the top of the fifth. You're listening to Braves Baseball.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by the best things in life, which are still free with minimum purchase at participating dealers.
Get your Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert, a 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over, under, money line, you name it. And we dive into the world of fantasy football year-long and your DFS payouts. Your only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy, in your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long.
It all starts with just one thing. Glass jars can be reused to store food and spices, as a holder for combs and brushes in the bathroom, or as a container for plants and homemade candles, in addition to simply being recycled. Find tips and more at onethingus.com.
Let me tell you something. If the U.S. government decides to stick a tracking device up your ass, you say thank you and God bless America.
Hi, this is Britney Spears.
What up, this Jay-Z.
This is Jennifer Lopez. Armchair.
Welcome back here to Atlanta Braves baseball. The Braves and Dodgers are tied at 2 apiece. We get you caught up in the world of college football here real quick. Alabama's rolling over Mississippi State 28-9 in the third quarter. Ole Miss still holding a 24-9 lead over the Tennessee Volunteers in Knoxville as they are heading to the half. And the games from earlier today, if you miss it, South Carolina outlasted Vanderbilt 21-20 in a heart stopper. Unbelievable game as Vanderbilt tried pretty much every way to blow the lead that they had, and they were successful, losing 21-20. Here comes the first pitch as we lead off the top of the fifth inning, and it is a called first strike, and Tony Gonsolin will take the bat as he is the first Dodger pitcher to actually stay in the game. And here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a strike at the knees. It's 0-2. Can't be understated how taxing that had to have been on Fried to not get to face a pitcher the first two times through as well. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it's fouled back out of play, and we'll do it again at 0-2. 0-2 pitch to Gonsolin, and it is a fastball, and it is in the hole. Dansby Swanson grabs it and fires it over to first, but Gonsolin's got pretty good wheels, and he's going to beat it out for an infield single. There's one on, nobody out, with Mookie Betts coming to the plate. Gonsolin ripped it over just where Riley couldn't get to it, made it a difficult play for Swanson. He had to throw off his back foot. And most pitchers, I think he probably gets him out, but Gonsolin's got pretty good speed for a pitcher and was hustling down the line. Credit to him. And that'll bring the dangerous Mookie Betts up. Here comes the first pitch, fastball and inside, and it's 1-0. Betts, Turner, and Seager if the inning continues. The Braves are playing a full shift with Ozzie cheating towards the second base bag for a possible chance at a double play. Not likely with Betts out. Here's a shot to Ozzie. He runs and grabs it, and it's going to be tailor-made. Just as I say it, I'm contradicted because that ball was scorched to Ozzie, and he only had to take a couple of steps, stepped on second. Mookie Betts barely had time to get out of the batter's box and knew he was dead meat. And quickly, the Braves get a much-needed double play. There's 2 away. They would love a shutdown inning here and a 1-2-3 inning at that, but the dangerous Trey Turner comes to the plate. Dodgers 2, Braves 2, top of 5, 2 away, and it is a slider swung back foul, and it's 0-1. You don't see Mookie Betts hit into many double plays with his blazing speed. That was a nice break for Atlanta for that ball to be right at Ozzie. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Fried, and it is swung on and missed as that slider fell off the table, and it's 0-2. Braves would love a shutdown inning here in the top of the 5th inning. And the 0-2 pitch, and it is a curveball. Just missed the outside part of the zone. Good eye by Turner. And it's 1-2. 2-2 pitch. Sorry, 1-2 pitch in a 2-2 ball game. And it is a fastball high and outside the zone. It is now 2-2. Nobody on, 2 away. And here's the delivery, and there's a slider at the ankles, and it's now a full count to Trey Turner with Seager on deck. Here's the full count. 3-2 delivery from Max Fried, 64th pitch of the inning, of the evening. And it is sent right back where it came from, up the middle, and it's a single into center field. The Dodgers have a runner on first, 2 away, with the left-handed slugging Corey Seager coming to the plate. Justin Turner is on deck. There's no let up in this Dodger lineup. Max Fried tries to get out of this inning unscathed. Here's the first pitch to Seager, and there's a slider just off the plate, swung on and missed, and it's 0-1. Nice pitch by Max. Ole Miss leads Tennessee 24-12 at the half in SEC play. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Fried to Seager. And he fires over to first. Almost caught Turner leaning off a little bit too far. It was a close play. Turner did get back underneath the tag. We'll start it again at 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Max Fried. He looks Turner back over to first. He fires, and a slider in the dirt gets away from d'Arnaud, but he's able to stay in front of it, keeps Turner at first base. Don't want him to get into scoring position, especially with 2 away. He'll be going on the crack of the bat anyways. So we got a 1-1 count to Corey Seager. Top of the 5th inning. 2 outs. The lefty Max Fried facing the lefty Seager. d'Arnaud Sets up on the outside part of the play. Here's the delivery, and there's a fastball missed, and Trey Turner's off and running. He's going to slide underneath the tag, and it's a stolen base by Trey Turner. He's in scoring position now, where a single would give the Dodgers the lead. They're showing the replay here. He definitely got underneath the tag. His arm came off the bag for a minuscule second. I don't know if there'll be enough to try to overturn that. And if Swanson still had, you might be able to slide a postcard underneath that. I don't think there'll be enough to overturn that. So here comes the 2-1 pitch, and it is a slider in the dirt. And once again, it's 3-1. Darnold's able to stay in front of it, keeping Turner at second. But dangerous part of the Dodgers lineup. You got 2 away. That's the good news. The bad news is it's a 3-1 count to Seager. Justin Turner's on deck. Here's a 3-1 delivery from Max Fried, and it is foul. Check swing to the third base side, and it's now 3-2. 1 strike can get you out of this mess. Oklahoma leads TCU 24-14 in the second half. Most of your big games are done for the evening, as baseball is taking center stage tonight. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Seager, and fastball at the knee, strike. Yak him. Send him to the bench. That's it. Out number 3, strike number 3. The Atlanta Braves 2, the Dodgers 2. We head to the bottom of the 5th.
He only has 3 rings.
Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We've got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Areola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live, or catch the instant replay.
I'm not playing your stupid game.
My hotel's nice, and I was in the elevator. There's a sign in the elevator that said maximum capacity 12 persons. 12 persons. Somebody needs to tell the folks down at the elevator company that the plural of the word person is people. It's not persons, right? The hotel pool had a similar sign. It said maximum capacity 180 people. Do we really need legislation for that sort of thing? Doesn't it kind of govern itself? Don't most of us just hang back and go, I don't want to get in the pool with that many people. It's not going to be refreshing, knocking up against other people's arms and skin. Move, I have a legal right to be here. Banging elbows, move. I did a head count. Like in the bathroom stall, we don't put a sign that says maximum capacity 1 person. I just see the shoes and I keep on moving.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Welcome back to Braves baseball. Travis Darnold, Dansby Swanson, and the pitcher spot, Max Fried, is due up in this inning. Get you caught up real quick on the college football scoreboard, as the action has not begun yet back here in the bottom of the 5th inning, a tied game 2-2. Oklahoma leads TCU 31-14 in the second half. Bama all over Mississippi State 35-9 late in the third quarter. Ole Miss 24-12 over Tennessee. That game is at the half. Earlier today, number 1 Georgia pounded Kentucky 30-13. Cincinnati all over Central Florida, 56-21. Michigan State remained unbeaten. They won 20-15. We're set back now here for action. Gonsolin's back out, and it is a fastball hit high and deep by Darnold. Did he get a hold of one? Back up against the warning track, and it'll die right at the 375 sign for out number one. I think Darnold thought he got one. Oh, my word, what a ride he gave that ball. He looked like he had it timed perfectly. And the way he was running, I think he thought that thing was gone. Just died right at the left field wall. Pollock was underneath it on the warning track just before he reached the wall. And it's one pitch, one away. Here's the pitch to Dansby Swanson, and it's a fastball fouled back, and it's 0-1. What a close play that was for Atlanta taking the lead. Swanson's facing a shift on the left-hand side of the infield, so Pujols is by his lonesome over there in first. Anything shot that direction should get through. It's a slider on the outside part of the plate, and it's 1-1. The Dodgers do have action once again in their bullpen. It's Vesia who is up, and he is their other lefty in their bullpen. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and there's a slider outside, and it should be 2-1. They do check down the first base line to see if he went. He did not, and it's 2-1. Vesia, the lefty out of the Dodgers bullpen, they're getting him ready to face Max Fried, Rosario, and Freddie Freeman. The 2-1 pitch is in the dirt, and it's 3-1. Dansby Swanson trying to get on to get something going here in the bottom of the fifth inning. If you miss it in the National Football League, T.Y. Hilton is going to make his debut against the Texans tomorrow for the Indianapolis Colts. Here's a 3-1 pitch, and it's right down the middle, taken for a strike. It's 3-2. Looked like it was a get-me-over slider. Max Fried stands on deck. It does look like they're going to let him stay in the game. Here we go on a 3-2 pitch to Swanson, and it is a slider hit high and deep into center field, and Taylor's on his horse. He catches that one at the warning track, and there's 2 away. So 2 outs, but both of them very loud outs. The Braves are starting to get on to Gonsolin. They're not going to let him stay in the game much longer, I don't believe. They may let Gonsolin face the pitcher. And then if he were to get on, the CS would come in for the 6th inning or to bail out Gonsolin here. Here's a fastball on the outside part of the plate, and it's 1-0. You see the Dodgers are checking down at the bullpen to see where he is. And here's the 1-0 pitch, fouled out of play, and it's 1-1. Don't believe Vesia has been up for very long, but I do suspect that he'll be ready after this at bat by Fried. So whether he gets on or not, or waits till the next inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it is a sharp slider. Call it at the knees for a strike, and it is 1-2. Max Fried 0 for 1 on the night with the strikeout. He gets ready for the 1-2 pitch from Gonsolin, and it is in the dirt, and we'll get a 2-2 count. Max Fried did hit 273 on the year, so he's not a pitcher that you can just throw a get me over and expect to get him out. Good athlete and decent hitter. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and swung on and missed strike 3. That's going to end the 5th inning. As we head to the top of the 6th, we've got a tied ball game in Atlanta in game number 1 of the NLCS. Atlanta 2, the Dodgers 2. We'll be back in a flash.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Nix again with 36 seconds left. Ball at the left hash mark. 2 wide out to the right, 1 to the left. Florida's got the big rush on Nix. He floats 1 in the end zone. It is goal, touchdown Auburn! Sanders caught it! Touchdown Auburn! Touchdown Auburn! Frank Sanders from Nix. Auburn's ahead. Auburn's ahead. Touchdown of 8 yards. Nix to Sanders. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Auburn has done it again. Ball game is over. I have seen it, but I do not believe it. Yes, the streak is alive. Auburn 36, Gators 33. Number 1 has fallen by the wayside.
That's not what he said, you ignorant wretch. Spanish is worse than your English.
Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We've got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Areola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live, or catch the instant replay. Welcome back here to Atlanta Braves Baseball as we get set to bring you the 6th inning. Celebrating some birthdays in the world of sports today. Tim McCarver is 80 years old. Of course, he was the catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, their heyday with Bob Gibson and company. Leo Mazzoni, remember old Leo? Pitching coach for the Braves, he is 73. And Bryce Harper, everyone's favorite in Braves country, he's 29 years old today. Slash Cordell Stewart, he's 49. Jermaine Lewis is 47 years old. So we begin the top of the 6th, the 71st pitch from Max Fried to Justin Turner is a fastball at the knees, and it's 0-1. Huge strikeout for Fried to get out of that mess in the last inning. We'll see if he can carry that over here to start the 6th. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Justin Turner, and it's a slider. He fouls it back. It's 0-2. Justin Turner, Will Smith, and Albert Pujols all due up. All righties tonight in the Dodgers lineup except for the shortstop, Corey Seager. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Max Fried, and it is a fastball at the knees, just missed low, and it's 1-2. If you're just joining us, Dodgers 2, Braves 2, top of the 6th, game 1 of the National League Championship Series. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll have every pitch throughout the series. Here's a fastball, and it's just barely hit to the right side. It'll dribble through the diamond for a single as Justin Turner beats the shift. And they'll get the leadoff runner on. 1 on. Nobody out. A basic defense easily gets that, as Turner got very little mustard on that ball, but nonetheless, it'll lead off the inning with the runner on. 1 on, nobody out, and a fastball slider hit high and deep into left field. It is tracked by Rosario. He's underneath it for an out. Dangerous ball that was hit pretty hard into the left field area, just a little to the right. That would have been down for extra bases. Luckily, Rosario was right there to make the catch, and there's 1 away. Can't imagine Max Fried's going much farther than this inning. Snicker has shown that he will pull his starters after the sixth typically. So here's the first pitch to Pujols, and it's slider at the knees. It's 0-1. You would think when they do go to the bullpen, Atlanta's going to be looking to go to the right-handed side, force the Dodgers to get some bats off their bench. They have nothing but righties in there. They've got some good lefties on their bench. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it is swung on and missed by Darno. The ball gets away over towards the Braves dugout, and Justin Turner is going to get on his horse and get over to second base. And quickly, the Dodgers have a threat. That slider hit the plate and ricocheted high. Once it got away, Justin Turner took off, and Darno had no shot of keeping anyone at bay. So they'll score that a wild pitch. It's a 1-1 count to Pujols. On deck would be A.J. Pollock and then Chris Taylor. So it doesn't get any easier. Pujols is batting .300 this year against lefties, just .180 against righties. So you got to figure when the Braves do go to the bullpen, they're going to put Pujols on the bench and probably put Bellinger or Beatty over at first base, depending on the situation. So here comes the 1-1 pitch from Fried, and it's in the dirt again. He misses it, and it's 2-1. Missing wildly at this at bat. Braves 2, Dodgers 2. Top of the sixth, but the Dodgers have Justin Turner at second as they've had runners in scoring position almost every single inning. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Fried to Pujols, and it is swung on and hit to the right side of the infield, scooped up by Fried, and he's going to dance over to first, step on the bag, and there's two away, but Justin Turner does move up 90 feet to third base. And that'll bring the dangerous bat of A.J. Pollock hitting .297 on the year, 21 home runs and 69 RBIs, .892 OPS. Chris Taylor is on deck. Does look like they will leave Fried in for another batter. He's trying to tap dance through the raindrops here. A.J. Pollock already has a double and a run scored off of Max Fried. The 80th pitch of the evening from Fried to Pollock. And here's the delivery as he rocks and fires. Fastball inside part of the plate, and it's 0-1. Finally gets that call that he's been looking for all night. Two game, 2 away, runner on third. A.J. Pollock faces an 0-1 count from Max Fried, who's set to deliver. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's swung on and hit on a bullet over the second base, but Ozzie Albies there. He leaps up and grabs it, and we're out of the inning. Great defensive play by Ozzie Albies, timed it perfectly, and the Braves will grab the bats as we head to the bottom of the sixth.
The Almighty says this must be a fashionable fight. It's drawn the finest people.
Get your Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert. A 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over, under, money line, you name it. And we dive into the world of fantasy football year-long and your DFS payouts. Your only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy in your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Let's keep the Dodgers in Brooklyn. My house is not a home without some.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Welcome back to the Braves baseball as the Braves are due to bat here in the inning. And it'll bring up the left-handed Rosario, Freddie Freeman, and the switch hitting Ozzie Albies. So the Dodgers are going to head to the bullpen, and they are going to call on Alex Faccia. The Dodgers don't have many lefties in their pen. They have Brule, Alex Faccia, and then the only other lefty they have is Game 4 starter Julio Urias. So they may be able to use him as, with him not pitching for a few more days, they may go to Urias at some point tonight. That remains to be seen, but here's the first pitch from Faccia, and it's outside the zone. It's 1-0. Game 4 will be on Wednesday night. Urias did pitch Thursday against the Giants. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it is a fastball, 94 miles an hour for a strike. It's 1-1. But one would probably think that Urias could be used if needed in an inning here in game number 1. With the left-handed bats of the Braves that they have stacked. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's shot into left field, but Pollock is underneath it, and there's one away. Tyler Matzik is warming up in the Atlanta Braves bullpen. All those lefties in the Dodgers lineup. He is set to come in, or I'm sorry, righties in the Dodgers lineup. He is set to come in to face those righties, presumably. But here's the first pitch to Freddie Freeman. A little surprised we don't see a righty working there. Snicker has his recipe of Matzik to Jackson to Smith. Here's the first pitch, second pitch to Freddie Freeman. The 1-0 pitch is a called low strike at the knees, a little bit outside the zone, but it's 1-1. So that will be an interesting move if he does decide to go with the lefty. I would have thought he would want to change it up a little bit. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Vesia, and it's high and outside the zone. It's 2-1. Look like a fastball up around the shoulders. Joe Kelly is warming up for the Dodgers. Looks like he just got going. So he's probably trying to get ready for Riley, I would think. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Freddie, and it is a slider swung on and fouled back, and it's 2-2. Freddie Freeman hit that home run in game number 4, but really hasn't gotten hot yet here in the playoffs. Man, would love to see Freddie get onto one of his patented hot streaks. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Freddie, swung on and strike out. 95 miles an hour at the letters, blew it right by him, and there's 2 away in the bottom of the 6th. That'll bring Ozzie Albies to the plate, and it does look like Vesia is going to face Albies. Just too much for Freddie. 96 miles an hour, blew it right by him. Might have been looking for something off speed with 2 strikes. And here comes the first pitch to Ozzie, and it's a fastball outside the zone, and it's 1-0. If Ozzie reaches Riley, who has a solo shot earlier in the game, he is on deck. Ozzie's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out and fastball outside the zone, but called for a strike. It's 1-1. Blue has been all over the place tonight. Home plate umpire Trip Gibson is not being very consistent at all. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Ozzie, and it is a fastball high and outside the zone. He will call that a ball this time. It's 2-1. Ole Miss leads Tennessee 24-19 in the 3rd quarter in Southeastern Conference play. Here comes the 2-1 to Ozzie. As he gets set, his open stance from the right-hand side of the plate. The lefty deals, and it is an swing, and it goes down the third base line. And Vesia is going to jump on it, but it was such a strange and awkward play that it's essentially like a rolling bunt, a swinging bunt. So Ozzie's going to get through. Maybe that'll get him going. There's an swing that just kind of rolled down the third base line. Vesia put it in his pocket. Ozzie's on first base with 2 away. And Austin Riley's coming to the plate. Good hustle by Ozzie down the line. He's kind of laughing, looking over the dugout like, whoops, look what I got. So let's see if the Braves can take advantage of this lefty-righty matchup. And I guess the Dodgers are not ready to pull the trigger on a pitching change yet, so they will let Vesia face Austin Riley, who's 1 for 2 with the home run. They are playing a shift on the left-hand side of the infield, wide open on the right side. Here's the first pitch, and it's a fastball outside the zone, but Blue will call it a strike, and it's 0-1. Starting to think home plate umpire Trip Gibson has dinner reservation somewhere. He has got a wild strike zone. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Vesia is going to actually fire it back over to first to keep Ozzie at bay. We'll do it again at 0-1. Little surprised by now that Snicker or someone from the dugout hasn't come out, or at least chirp from the dugout, to give Gibson the business because of his strike zone. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and they'll toss it back over to first again. We'll get it started up once again at 0-1. Tie ball game, 2-2. Bottom of the sixth inning in game one of the National League Championship Series. The winner goes to the World Series. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed outside the zone. It's 0-2. Pitch was a little further inside. May have actually been a strike. Regardless, I'm sure Riley figures he can't take the risk. So here we go again. 0-2 to Riley facing the lefty with Ozzie on base. Anything in the gap would score Ozzie. Here's the 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike three. Nice pitch by Vicious, blew it right by him, and we'll head to the top of the seventh inning in a tie ball game. Dodgers 2, Braves 2. You're listening to Braves Baseball.
I should have gone to law school or high school.
Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live. We cover Braves baseball, Red Sox, Yankees, Rays, Cubs and Cardinals, and the rest of Major League Baseball every day. Subscribe and like us today. Your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast. Stay locked in on Armchair Quarterbacks Radio. Always just moments away from the big play.
Here's Cunningham. Dodges left and puts it way downfield for Fred Barnett, who has the catch. And the race is on. There are no flags. A 95-yard touchdown.
The ball just over the goal line of the Cowboys. Dorsett, single setback. Big opening for Tony Dorsett. Look out, he's got great speed. 99 yards and a half. Dorsett down the sideline, stays in bounds. Can you believe that? 99.5-yard run, I think, is the longest run in the history of the league.
Here's Cunningham back to throw it and going deep, and he's got Moss, and there's a flag on the play. Pass, and it's in the end zone anyway. Touchdown. Just throw it as far as you can.
Randy Moss is amazing. Randall Cunningham is amazing.
It all starts with just one thing. When recycling, rinse out jars and cans, and avoid recycling waxed paper or paper soiled with food. This will reduce recycling contamination. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
Welcome back to Atlanta Braves baseball. As the Atlanta Braves, Los Angeles Dodgers tied at 2 apiece, heading to the seventh inning. Real quick on the college football scoreboard, game still going on. Number 5 Alabama blowing out Mississippi State 42-9. Oklahoma comfortably in front of TCU by 14 in the second half. Ole Miss has a 5-point lead on Tennessee as they get underway in the third quarter. And NC State putting it all over Boston College 31-7. That game is just the beginning of the fourth quarter. Later on tonight, Arizona State takes on Utah. The Sun Devils are number 18 in the country. This will bring Tyler Matzik to the plate, to the mound. The lefty, they'll continue the trend as it'll be Matzik taking the hill against the right-handed Chris Taylor, and the first pitch is 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-1. Little strange. Snicker would try to change these bats around, but that is what it is. So we've got to lead off with Chris Taylor. After that, the pitcher spot, and then Mookie Betts, who's also a righty. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it is a fastball outside the zone, and it's 1-1. Austin Barnes has grabbed a bat. He is the lone catcher on the Dodgers bench. Right-handed hitter. The Dodgers have burned all their other right-handed hitters on their bench. Here's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball close, but called for a ball, and it's 2-1. Blue appears to be calling a wide strike zone on the outside part of the plate, but not the inside. So here's the 2-1 pitch from Matzik, and it is a slider missed high, and it's 3-1. 3-1 pitch. The lefty goes up against the righties. Snicker did have a lot of right-handers in that pin to pull from. Here's a fastball popped high and down the right field line. Freddie Freeman cannot get it, and he fumbles around, kicks the ball around, and it ends up being a leadoff double. Chris Taylor goes hustling into second base. Freddie couldn't get it, went over his head, and when he fell trying to get it, he kind of kicked the ball around, and it gave Taylor enough time to be able to make it. Freddie extended diving at it. When the ball got away, it went behind him. By the time he jumped up and grabbed the ball and tried to throw it in from his knees, there was no way he was going to get the fast-footed Taylor. So the Dodgers have something cooking here, and it'll be Austin Barnes grabbing a bat, the last righty on the Dodgers bench. And so here's first pitch, 96-mile-an-hour fastball, bunted back foul. Barnes is trying to get him over to third base, and it's 0-1. Interesting, they would burn a pinch hitter, the last right-handed pinch hitter, for a bunt. But I guess they don't have much faith in any of the pitchers on their staff on dropping a bunt. So we'll see what happens here as 0-1 pitch to Barnes. He squares to bunt again. And fastball, and it's shot down the third base line to Riley. Riley shoots it over to first. Perfect bunt by Barnes that sends Taylor over to third base. And the Dodgers have the go-ahead run just 90 feet away with the dangerous Mookie Betts coming to the plate. On deck will be Trey Turner and then Corey Seager. So he tries to get out of this mess. Good bit of bunting by Barnes. Laid it down perfectly right down the third base line. Riley had no choice but to scoop it up and throw it over to first. So here comes the first pitch to Mookie Betts, and it's a slider in the dirt. Missed, and it's 1-0. Braves are playing the infield a little bit in. It's going to take a bang-bang play for them to get Taylor at the plate. Taylor with a lot of great speed. Of course, you're opening up the infield for Mookie Betts, the hard-hitting right-hander, but don't have a lot of choice here other than to walk him. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's a fastball called for a strike across the heart of the plate, and it's 1-1. Obviously, a fly ball would score Taylor as well. Matzik needing a strikeout or a pop-up here, desperately to get out of this mess. Here's the 1-1 pitch for Matzik, and it's popped up behind the plate, 97 miles an hour, but it'll go out of play, and it's 1-2. Can he get out of this mess? That double down the line, hustle double by Taylor, could prove to be huge as the fans come to the feet on a 1-2 pitch to Mookie Betts. There's only one away. The infield playing halfway. And the 1-2 pitch set up, and it's Fastball popped up high. Can of corn. I think it's going to stay in play. It is. Freddie Freeman's underneath it, and we've got 2 away. What a great piece of pitching by Tyler Matzik there against one of the better right-handed bats in all of baseball. He went slider, fastball, going higher and higher and higher up the ladder. And Mookie Betts is upset with himself knowing that he needed to get on top of that ball to force the Braves defense to make a play. Can they get out of this mess? Lefty versus righty matchup again, and one of the most dangerous right-handers. I know it's a broken record. They've got an incredible lineup. It's Trey Turner, and the first pitch is swung on. Fastball out of the zone, and it's 0-1. Fastball almost had some breaking action, 98 miles an hour. Trey Turner already 2 for 3. The Braves defense, infield defense, is playing back on a little bit of a right-handed shift. Ozzie is to the right of the second base bag. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's swung on 99 miles an hour outside the zone, and it's 0-2. Can Magic get out of this? Been an unsung hero for the Atlanta Braves bullpen. Atlanta trying to stave off the threat of a runner on third. The go-ahead run just 90 feet away on an 0-2 pitch to Trey Turner. Darnold sets up inside, fastball, and it almost shoots over Darnold's head, 98 miles an hour. He leaps and grabs it. Great play by Darnold. His eyes got as big as saucers, realizing that ball goes over his head. There's no way they're going to get Taylor, who'd be streaking from home. It's the 1-2 pitch. The collective breaths are held in Atlanta, Georgia, at Truist Park. 1-2 count to Trey Turner, and it's swung on and fouled back, slider at the knees, outside part of the plate, and we'll do it again at 1-2. Dodgers 2, Braves 2. Top of the 7th inning. We'll have every pitch of the National League Championship Series right here for you. Braves baseball on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Matzik. And swung on and missed. Sit down, Yakum. That'll get us out of the inning. 3 strikes and you're out at the old ball game. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Braves grab the bats. It's 2-2, Dodgers and Braves.
Why is there a pancake in the silverware drawer?
I mean, why is there silverware in the pancake drawer?
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge, so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style in socially distanced dining rooms or al fresco on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
Don't miss a moment of heart-stopping NFL coverage on Armchair Quarterback Radio.
Riggins. He's going to go all the way unless Blackwood can catch him, and he can't.
3rd and 3. We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly.
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Caught it. Dwight Clark.
Only 12 seconds left to play 3rd quarter. Here's Marcus Allen. Cutting back upfield, and Marcus Allen could be gone. 74 yards for Marcus Allen.
The quiet man of this football team, Scott Norwood. He can fire the shot heard round the world now. Here we go with 8 seconds to play. High drama here in the Super Bowl. But in the end, got the distance.
It measures just 9 inches in circumference, weighs only about 5 ounces, and is made of cork wound with woolen yarn, covered with 2 layers of cowhide, and stitched by hand precisely 216 times.
Welcome back here to Atlanta Braves baseball. We've got ourselves a tie ball game. Exciting game so far. Low scoring, but exciting as every pitch crucial. And we're going to take a really quick look around the scoreboard as we're waiting for the action to begin again. The Boston Red Sox beat the Houston Astros 9-5 to tie that series up at 1 apiece. They'll take tomorrow off, and then they'll be back at it Monday. The Braves will play tomorrow night, 7:37, a little earlier. First pitch, we will have all the action right here. In the Southeastern Conference, the Vols trail Ole Miss 24-19. And Alabama roasting Mississippi State 49-9. So the rumors of the Crimson Tide demise have been greatly exaggerated as they are all over the cowbells this evening. And this is going to bring Joe Kelly in to face Jock Peterson. Joe Kelly, the right-hander, gets set to throw, and it is a fastball outside the zone, and it's 1-0. Joe Kelly, 2.86 ERA on the year. And here comes the 1-0 pitch, and it is a knuckle curve across for a strike. It's 1-1. Two is your score. Tie in the bottom of the 7th inning. Braves and Dodgers at it once again. A rematch of last year's NLCS. Of course, last time it was played in Texas. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and it is outside, ball 2. Looked like it was the changeup, and it's 2-1. Two-one count as they are playing a shift on the right-hand side of the infield. Here's the 2-1 count, and it is pitch is fouled back. 86-mile-an-hour knuckle curve. We'll do it again at 2-2. Jock Peterson, of course, has already hit 2 home runs in this 2021 playoffs. Both of those were pinch hit appearances. He's been pushed into the starting lineup. The decision was already made before the COVID-19 test came back on Jorge Soler that forced him out of action. It was Rosario that was going to go to the bench. So here's the 2-2 pitch to Jock Peterson, and it is swung on and missed, strike 3. 1 away in the bottom of the 7th. Two is your score, bottom of the 7th inning. Jock Peterson takes a seat for a 5-pitch strikeout, and that will bring Adam Duvall to the plate. Travis d'Arnaud is on deck. Capacity crowd in Atlanta. Expected that for once again tomorrow night. These fans, all the fans, are glad baseball is back. The fans are back. And here comes 97-mile-an-hour fastball down the heart of the plate. It's 0-1. Ian Anderson Max Scherzer are your pitchers tomorrow night. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It is 87-mile-an-hour slider, missed low outside the zone. It's 1-1. Kenley Jansen is warming up in the Dodger bullpen. Tie ball game. Adam Duvall trying to change that on a 1-1 pitch and swung on and roasted back up the middle, but right into the shift as he hits it over the second base bag, but Turner's there to nab it and he'll fire it down to first, and Duvall is out. There's 2 away. Absolutely hammered that ball. When you got 3 guys playing to the left side of second base, you're playing right into where they want you to hit it. Something that could be going away. One of the things that the collective bargaining agreement will address in the offseason, there has been talk about getting rid of the shift, which would be interesting, kind of pushback they get on that. Here's the first pitch to d'Arnaud, who almost took the ball out of the yard last time up, right to the warning track. He takes a first pitch strike, 98 miles an hour at the knees, and it's 0-1. Kelly sets up, leans in. Here comes the delivery, and it is a slider outside the zone, and it's 1-1. 2-2 game with a 1-1 count and 2 away. Atlanta trying to find a way to get on the board, put some pressure on the Dodgers. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and it is a slider sharply bit at the knees, and it's 1-2. Good pitch by Kelly. Probably smart for d'Arnaud to stay off of that. May have been a hair low, but not by much if he did miss the zone. All in all, a good pitch. Here's 1-2 pitch, and Kelly's going to step off the mound, so everyone will reset. d'Arnaud will step out the box. Kelly off the rubber. We get ready for it again, and here's the 1-2 delivery from Joe Kelly to d'Arnaud as they set up outside once again, and it is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Looked like the knuckle curve, and that'll end the inning. So we'll head to the top of the 8th inning. Dodgers 2, Braves 2. Seager, Turner, and Smith are due up for LA.
Now, if you want to crown them, but they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
ACC football covered like no other here on the Armchair Quarterback.
Against the blitz. Touchdown, Florida State. Right, Preston scores the touchdown. And now it's Bowden's decision. And he sends Maury onto the field right away. Danny Cannell is the holder. Maury. This game is over. A 31-31 tie. A 31-31 tie.
A deep throw by Lawrence, a lot of contact. Justin Ross broke free from it. He's down in the end zone. Touchdown, Clemson. Justin Ross, a freshman wide receiver, big, rangy.
If you're a fan of the ACC, pull up an armchair. You're home.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
It travels 60 feet 6 inches from the pitcher's mound to home, and it can cover that distance at nearly 100 miles an hour. Along the way, it can be made to twist, spin, curve, wobble, rise, or fall away.
Welcome back here to the Atlanta Braves, Los Angeles Dodgers in game 1 of the NLDS, and it's been a dandy so far. Kind of what you expect. 2-2 is your scores. We head to the 8th inning. 2-2, heading to the top of the 8th. And the Braves are set to bring in Luke Jackson now. He'll face the left-handed Corey Seager. This doesn't make a lot of sense. You'd think they would have left the left-handed Matzik in. But anyways, it'll be Luke Jackson coming in to face Seager and then Turner and Smith. We'll see how this begins. Number 4, Oklahoma's blowing out TCU 45-24 in the fourth quarter. And Luke Jackson gets set for the first pitch of the outing. 1.98 ERA on the year, 63 innings, 70 strikeouts, and the first pitch is swung on and fouled back, looked like a slider, and it's 0-2. 31-19 is your score in Knoxville as Ole Miss is a sizable lead against the Volunteers. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Jackson, from Jackson to Seager, and he fouls it back behind the first base line. We'll do it again at 1-2. 0-2, excuse me. Seager is 1 for 3 on the night. Luke Jackson trying to get Seager out any way he can. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and it is a fastball high and outside the zone. Did he offer at it? He did not. And that'll be 1-2. 97 miles an hour, just missed the zone. Their appeal down, Seager did not offer, but they did appeal anyways. And Atlanta trying to find a way to get through this inning, get to the bottom of their 8th inning unscathed. And ball's hit on the ground, and Luke Jackson is able to step on the bag as the ball's tossed to him. And we've got the first out of the inning. And that'll bring Justin Turner to the plate. He's 1 for 3. Righty versus righty. Turner's at the plate with Smith on deck. And here's the first pitch from Jackson. He misses outside the zone with a fastball, 97 miles an hour, and it's 1-0. Justin Turner, 27 home runs on the year, hitting 111 in the postseason, but does have a home run. Here's the 0-1 pitch, 1-0 pitch, and it is a slider banged down the third base line harmlessly, and it's 1-1. Tie ball game if you're just joining us, 2-2. Braves scored in the first inning. The Dodgers tied it up in the second. The Dodgers took the lead in the top of the fourth. The Braves tied it in the bottom of the fourth. We've had ducks on the pond all game long, and here's the 1-1 pitch, and it is pulled foul, 1-2. AJ Minter is warming up in the Atlanta Braves bullpen. The Braves are playing Justin Turner to pull. Ozzy's several feet to the left of the second base bag. Here's the 1-2 pitch swung on, and it is a strikeout for Turner. Gets away from Darnode. So Turner jogs down to first, but Darnode fires it over to Freddie, and that's out number 2. As that was a curveball that missed way low in the zone. Too tempting for Turner to stay off of it. So Luke Jackson now faces Will Smith. It's a dangerous bat in his own right. The hind catcher has 25 home runs, 76 RBIs on the year. Kenley Jansen warming up in the Dodgers bullpen. It appears that he will come in next inning. Here's the first pitch. Swung on and hit high, but harmlessly into center field. And Adam Duvall's underneath it. And that'll end the inning. The Atlanta Braves 2, the Dodgers 2. We'll grab the bats and be back in a flash.
We can't Ruby Dern your frazzle dazzle.
Armchair Quarterback Radio is AFC South Country, all NFL season long.
They hand it off for Nat. He's driving, and he's in for the touchdown. Wow!
Drive starts at the 1 and looking for a little breathing room, and they get that and plenty more. Derrick Henry still going. Stays in bounds. He might go. 99 yards for the touchdown. Unbelievable. 2nd and 10. Empty set. Walk downfield. And that is Hilton again. 1st and goal. Ebron. What a year for him. Eric Ebron. Touchdown. Slant. Caught. Touchdown. Marquise Lee. And he punts the ball into the stands. Deep. And he's got it. Keelan Cole. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
Stay locked in to the AFC South on Armchair Quarterback Radio.
Cars from all over America come to find a new home in Florida, just like you. I moved here after the draft, football. I noticed there was one thing missing from this great town, a celebrity-endorsed used car shop. That's why I founded BJ's Used Autos. Every one of these beauties is freshly painted. They look brand new. We have new models coming in every morning, usually around 2 a.m. We can get you anything. And if you see a car that dreams, tell us. We can acquire it for you. I've taken the skills I've learned as a pro football player to the used car business. Smash, grab, and run like hell. I'm tackling low prices with hot cars.
The bat is made of turned ash, less than 42 inches long, not more than 2 3/4 inches in diameter.
Welcome back to Atlanta Braves baseball. Kenley Jansen's going to be coming in. So Dansby Swanson is going to coming up to the plate. After that, Luke Jackson, the pitcher spot, is up next. What you have available on the bench would be Johan Camargo. Obviously, bats switch hitting, which I would think that's probably where they go, but they could go with Pache or Heredia. And normally Heredia is brought in for defense, and Pache, of course, he's just coming up. He's filling in for Soler. I think they would probably leave Pache for base running and defensive purposes, but we'll see what they decide to dial up. There's a lot of different ways you can go. Camargo, who's had his heroic moments for the Atlanta Braves in his brief career, he's yet to have a base hit this year. So we'll see what they end up doing with Camargo. If they hold on to him for later in the game because he can play all over the infield, or if they decide to burn that bat now. So we're getting late. It's the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Atlanta Braves are tied up at 2-2 with the Dodgers. Jansen comes up and fires, and Swanson swings at the very first pitch, pops it up high. It's a can of corn, and the second baseman Turner's underneath it really easily, and there's quickly one away. Wasn't much of an at bat there by Swanson. He's tried to jump on the first pitch and played right into Jansen's hands. Looked like it was probably the cutter, and they are going to. I think I skipped over Adrianza. Adrianza is going to come to the plate, as Adrianza batting .247 on the year and 5 home runs. He is a switch hitter. And he comes up. The infield is playing the pull, and the first pitch is taken outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Adrianza has 5 home runs, has 28 RBIs, has a 728 OPS, has had some big moments this year, kind of took Camargo's job. What's interesting with putting Camargo on this roster, they left off, here's the 1-0 pitch and fastball outside, but he will call it a strike and it's 1-1. They left off Terrence Gordon. Remember, he was on the National League Division Series roster, strictly for base running. But I guess with Pache on the roster, they're deciding to just go with just him. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and it is a fastball cutter right down the pipe of the plate. Adrianza takes it, and it's 1-2. Looking for a little more flexibility, having Camargo, who can play all over, as opposed to having another outfielder. So it's understandable why they did it. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and fastball swung on and missed by Adrianza, and it's a strikeout, and it's a quick 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That'll bring to the top of the order. Here comes Rosario, and if he can get on, Freddie Freeman. Bottom of the 8th, tied 2-2. Can Freddie bend back that magic again? Remember, he hit the go-ahead home run in the bottom of the 8th in game 4. Same situation. So can he get back to the plate and give the Braves the lead? First, it's Rosario. He digs in. The first pitch is swung on and fouled back 93 miles an hour, and it's 0-1. Rosario 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored, a stolen base. He scored on a wild pitch in the first inning, proving to be a very important run at this point. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Jansen to Rosario. Left-handed slugger, digs in, and he has to bend out of the way, but the ball hits his bat. And so it's going to be an 0-2 count. Rosario did not want to offer it that. Bent out of the way as they pitched a little bit inside, and Rosario just kind of bent out of the way. As he bent out of the way, the barrel of the bat went through the zone and kind of tagged the ball, and it shot backwards. So it's going to be 0-2 on Rosario now, as he is now going to have to widen his zone. 0-2 count, and it swung on and hit harmlessly over to the right-hand side. It is scooped up and fired over to first, and 3 up, 3 down. The Dodgers grab the bats as we head to the top of the 9th inning. Atlanta 2, LA 2. Will Smith is kicking through the bullpen door.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge, so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style in socially distanced dining rooms or al fresco on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
Get your Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert, a 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over under, money line, you name it. And we dive into the world of fantasy football year-long and your DFS payouts. Your only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy, and your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long.
batter has only a few thousandths of a second to decide to hit the ball. And yet the men who fail 7 times out of 10 are considered the game's greatest heroes.
Welcome back here to Atlanta Braves baseball. We head to the top of the 9th inning, and Will Smith is coming in to face Albert Pujols. Will Smith is coming in with a 3.44 ERA on the year. He will take the place of Luke Jackson. Normally, Will Smith, the closer for Atlanta, but obviously closing situation is not possible at this point going forward, as most teams do. Once you hit the top of the 9th inning and you're the home team, you send your closer out to hopefully keep the game scoreless, and then you hope to score in the bottom of the 9th. That's a long way away. Will Smith is 3-7 on the year, 3.44 ERA. And here comes the first pitch to Albert Pujols, and it is a strike at the knees, curveball, and it's 0-1. Albert Pujols digs in 0 for 3, 3 ground outs as he gets ready for the 0-1 delivery, and it is a swung on and miss slider at the knees inside, and it's 0-2. Albert Pujols has taken Will Smith deep earlier this year in Atlanta. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Smith, and it is at the knees inside the zone, outside the zone inside, and it's 1-2. Pujols at the plate. On deck is A.J. Pollock and then Chris Taylor. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Albert Pujols from Will Smith, and he misses low and outside the zone. It's 1-2. Looked like it was the slider that he was trying to get him to chase. And here we go. Will Smith working into trouble once again. He's struggled all year with keeping runners off the base paths. As a closer, that's what you want. That's what you need. It's gotten him into trouble. And here we go on the 2-2 count with Pujols, and it is fastball way outside the zone. It's 3-2. Three-two pitch to Albert Pujols. Dangerous right-handed bat. 17 home runs on the year. And it is set up for the delivery. Darno leans inside, and it's a fastball popped up high and in play. And Ozzie Albies back pedals, and he's going to get it. There was some confusion between him and Jock Peterson. Peterson was calling for it. The next thing you know, he bailed, and Ozzie grabbed it. They're laughing about it now, but that was almost a disaster. Would have been a terrible way to start the inning off. Freddie Freeman got out of the way. The ball kind of tail spin back towards second base, so luckily Ozzie didn't give up on it. They had a conversation. I think Jock's telling Ozzie, next time if I'm calling it and coming in, I'm going to get it. So that's just basic baseball right there. Here's the first pitch from Will Smith. Slider swung on and missed by A.J. Pollock, and it's 0-1. you have to give the outfielder the right of way as he's charging in and you're going back over your shoulder. I think Ozzy's so used to making those plays, though, because for most of the year, Peterson has not been in right, who's much more athletic than a Jorge Soler and a few of the others. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it is in the dirt off the plate and back to the screen, and it's 1-1. It's like a slider that missed outside the zone. Tie game if you're just joining us. Bottom of the ninth inning, 2-2 is your score. A 1-1 pitch to Will Smith. From Will Smith, excuse me. And it is low, and it'll be 2-1. AJ Pollock is at the plate. Chris Taylor on deck. The Braves fans have the chop going. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Will Smith to Pollock, and popped up high. It's a can of corn in the infield. Freddie Freeman is underneath it, gives it chase, and there is 2 away in the top of the ninth. Sending Chris Taylor, who's all too familiar with ninth inning heroics, Braves 2, Dodgers 2, lefty versus righty matchup. If Taylor reaches, Jansen, the pitcher spot, is due up. If he does not reach, would they send Jansen back out for another inning? He has pitched multiple innings in his career. Here comes the first pitch from Will Smith, and it's a slider swung on and missed over the top, and it's 0-1. Braves fans are on their feet in Atlanta, Georgia. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's a slider way outside the zone in the dirt, close to Taylor's ankles, and it's 1-1. Get you caught up on the college football scoreboard. Looks like everyone in the top 10 who played this week will win, except for Iowa, who lost 24-7 today against Purdue. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Will Smith, and his fastball almost hits Taylor. He bends out of the way, and it's 2-1. Two-one is the count. Taylor trying to find a way on. Will Smith delivers, and fastball way outside the zone. It's 3-1. Darnold had to spin around to make sure the ball didn't go to the backstop. Will Smith once again having issues finding the zone. When he's on, he's effectively wild. When he's off, looks a little more like this. Here comes the 3-1 pitch from Will Smith, and it is a slider just missed below the knees. And that'll be ball 4, sending Chris Taylor to first base. Cody Bellinger comes in to bat. The left-handed Cody Bellinger comes in to bat for Kenley Jansen. So I guess the good news is Atlanta gets Jansen out of the game. The bad news is Bellinger comes to the plate. Lefty versus lefty matchup. Bellinger, crafty veteran who has come through in big ways in the postseason over the last couple of years. Blue calls time. So Smith will step off the rubber. Bellinger steps out of the box. Where Bellinger last year went deep in the NLCS Game 7 against Atlanta, and that's where he injured his shoulder. On a high five as the pickoff attempt goes over to first base. There's yet to be a pitch here to Bellinger. He did a high five in the celebration with one of his teammates, and it knocked his arm out of socket. He played through it throughout the World Series, played well, but has struggled this year. A lot of it's being attributed to that injury. Here's the first pitch, and here's a slider on the outside part of the plate, and it is called a ball. It's 1-0. 2-2 is your score. 2 away. Chris Taylor is on first, a threat to steal. Will Smith digs in on the 1-0 pitch. Here comes the delivery to Bellinger. And it is a slider swung on and missed inside the zone, and it's 1-1. Will Smith gets the sign from Darnode. They set it up again. Bellinger is just 3 for 24 lifetime as a pinch hitter. But I'm not sure any of that's relevant right now. Here comes the pitch, and it's going to be a pickoff attempt over at first. Taylor's back in. We'll do it again at 1-1. Braves 2, Dodgers 2. Top of the ninth. The Braves are playing a shift to the right-hand side of the infield. Anything to the left, Dansby's all alone. Here's the 1-1 pitch to the outside part of the plate, and it's swung on, and it is just gets over Ozzie Albies' head, and they're going to have Chris Taylor in a rundown as he tried to advance, and a terrible decision by Taylor as he rounded second base, gets gunned down in a pickle of a rundown. He turned around at the end and slammed into Dansby. Luckily, Dansby didn't get hurt. It was a dangerous play by Taylor, and that's going to end the top of the first inning. He went around. I think he thought that the ball got farther than it did. Peterson had it. He was going to have him dead to rights. Taylor tried to swim his way around. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the Braves grab the bats and try to walk this puppy off. 2-2 Atlanta. Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, and Austin Riley are due up next. Get your Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Your Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert, a 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over, under, money line, you name it. And we dive into the world of fantasy football year long and your DFS payouts. The only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy, and your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Only on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long. Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We've got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Ariola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live. Or catch the instant replay. Welcome back here to Atlanta Braves baseball, as the Dodgers are going to bring in Blake Trinan from the bullpen. Chris Taylor rounded second. I think he thought the ball was going to die and it was going to take Peterson a second to corral it. Peterson was right on it. Jock grabbed it, gunned it into the infield, and they quickly had Chris Taylor in a pickle. So that ended the top of the ninth and the scoring threat. And this comes Blake Trinan. He faces Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman is 4 for 8 lifetime against Trinan, but does not have a home run. He also has 2 walks. He has 1 strikeout, but 4 for 8 lifetime. And here comes the 1-0 pitch. Freddie swings and misses at a 98 miles an hour right in his kitchen. Looked like something Taylor made for Freddie, but he missed it. Freddie's got a weird look like, is there a hole in my bat? I thought I got that one. Struck out 3 times tonight. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Freddie, and it is a slider at the ankles, and it's 1-2. Ozzie Albies is due up next. And Austin Riley. If anybody gets on Jock Peterson, here comes the 1-2 pitch slider way inside the zone, and Freddie flails at it. Strike 3, and he's quickly 1 and done. Bottom of the 9th inning. That ball almost hit Freddie in the knee, and he swung at it. Guess he just isn't picking the ball up well right now. Whereas Freddie had the big home run that sent Atlanta to this championship series, but really hasn't had much of a October to speak of. Ozzie Albies digs in from the left-hand side of the plate. Here's the first pitch to Ozzie, and it's popped up. It's a Texas blooper, and it's going to find its way to the ground in center field, and Ozzie's on with a 1-out single. Kind of a seeing eye single there. It'll look like a line drive in the scorebook. Just a little bit of a balloon shot that went over second base. We'll take it, as that'll bring Austin Riley to the plate. Austin Riley had the big home run earlier. And Austin Riley lifetime is 0 for 2 against Trinan. They fire a pickoff play over to Ozzie. He barely gets underneath. That was too close for comfort there, as he's in there safe. But I'll tell you right now, it was by a half of a motion. And on a note there, Pujols is no longer playing first. It is Bellinger. He did stay in the game. And pickoff play back over to Ozzie. Ozzie's leaning, almost gets caught leaning again. Trinan with a good pickoff move. Austin Riley 0 for 2 lifetime. And here's the first pitch, and it is a slider. And Ozzie goes and he steals second. He steals it with ease. Timed that perfectly. Looked like it was a slider that he went on. And the Braves now have a runner on second. The winning run of Ozzie Albies He got a pretty good jump and flew under the tag. Picked the perfect pitch to go on. And Atlanta, a single, could win this game. Austin Riley. Stands at the plate. Peterson is on deck. Jock Peterson, by the way, is 2 for 4 lifetime versus Trina. Here's a swung on, and it is roped down the line. It's going to rattle around, and oh, baby boy, here comes Ozzie Albies. He's going to score. The Braves walk it off in fine fashion. Oh, my word, the first pitch, and it is absolutely scoop-a-doop down the line. How about that? How about that? The Atlanta Braves whole comeback and score a run in the 9th inning, bottom of the 9th, and walk it off. This team has more lives than a cat. Unbelievable game. Austin Riley, the hero of the night, is he not? A solo home run. Austin Riley hit a solo home run in the 4th inning that tied the game up. He hits what would have been a double. I don't know how they're going to actually score that. He caught a slider and roped it down the left field line. There was no way Pollock could get to it. Pollock gave chase and then realized once he saw the crowd going nuts that Ozzie had crossed the plate, so he just let the ball go. And the Atlanta Braves win it, baby, 3-2 with a 1-0 lead in the National League Championship Series. We will be back tomorrow night, 7:37 Eastern Time. First pitch will come on the air at about 7:30 to set the scene. It's Ian Anderson versus Max Scherzer in the Braves. Not only do they get the all-important first game in a series, but they have a chance to go up 2-0 heading back to L.A. Enormous game tomorrow night. Thank you for tuning in. We will bring it to you tomorrow night, Braves country. You've been listening to Braves Baseball. I'm Mac McGee. How about that? Ozzie's legs and Riley's bats. We'll see you tomorrow. Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We've got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Ariola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live, or catch the instant replay. Get your Sunday football morning started off right with the Handicappers on Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern, noon Eastern. The Sunday morning kickoff show where we tackle your NFL lines out in the desert. A 61.2% win rate over the last 6 years. Against the spread, over-under, money line, you name it. And we dive into the world of fantasy football, year-long, and your DFS payouts. The only true Southern football kickoff show that talks the spreads in Vegas, your DFS and fantasy in your year-long quest to win that fantasy football championship. Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. It's the Handicappers. Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern, 2 Eastern. Sundays, all NFL season long.